Well, good morning, good morning, good morning, all of my beautiful people. Alexander, what's up, my guy? You know what I'm saying? This is the day the Lord has made. I will rejoice and be glad in it. If you in a live stream, you on a cell phone, man, it's real simple, easy to show a brother some love. All you got to do is double tap the screen. I ask that y'all like the video right now. If you guys will subscribe to the channel, hit that notification bell, guys. This morning, man, Republicans, independents, and Democrats alike, I invite you guys to jump down into the comment section, man, and join the conversation, man. We're going to have a great conversation this morning. Got some great news, some great perspectives, you know what I'm saying? The United States is actually negotiating with Iran for a peace deal. You see what I'm saying? That's what Big Ghost been saying, that, you know, it's time for us to do that. But I ain't going to give y'all the content right now. This is Riding with Ghost Rider, you know what I'm saying? So I'm going to do it from in the car. But before I do it, y'all, Hudson Valley, New York. One time for Hudson Valley, New York, man, you know what I'm saying? Probably about 30 miles outside the New York. Well, probably about 20 or so miles outside the New York City limits, man. You know what I'm saying? Like probably about 30 miles from Lower Manhattan, bro. You feel that? Hudson Valley, New York, man. It's so gorgeous up here, man. You know what I'm saying? I'm an outside kind of dude. I'm a kind of dude you gonna find in the woods. You know what I'm saying? That's the kind of dude I am, man. Like, bro, it wouldn't please me nothing more than to go climb one of them mountains. You know what I'm saying? Get on a jet ski and ride it across the Hudson River, man. That's just how I get down. So, like, New York City is the greatest city in the world. Of course, if you didn't know that, I don't know what's wrong with you, where you been. You know, it's still that. New York, the greatest city in the world. And, you know, being able to access the city at any time and then, you know what I'm saying, enjoying the nature like I do it. You know what I'm saying, out here in beautiful Hudson Valley, guys. So once again, if y'all have liked the video, man, y'all go ahead, double tap the screen for Ghost Rider, man. Subscribe to the channel, man. Make sure y'all hit that notification bell, man. We're going to start the discussion this morning, man. You know what I'm saying? Peace and prosperity. What does it cost? The price of peace. Listen, guys, y'all know I take in a whole lot of content on the internet, okay? I've been hearing people with very valid arguments about how this situation has gone with Iran and with President Trump. You see what I'm saying? I hear valid arguments from both sides. So a lot of Democrats and independents are saying that President Trump, he don't know how to game plan. He didn't have the proper plan. Y'all jump down in the comments at any time and y'all tell me how y'all feel or what y'all think. You know what I'm saying? Republicans, independents, and Democrats. I hear a lot of people saying President Trump, they went in it blind. You know what I'm saying? They didn't have a plan, the game plan. They weren't aware of what was going on. They weren't distracted or amused. They weren't thinking about that. He just went in it like. I heard someone else say that President Trump, his whole administration is just filled with TV announcers or TV stars, and you know what I'm saying, Hollywood casting. And it's like you got Hollywood casting trying to manage a war. That's what I hear a lot of people saying from the left and from the center left. On the right, on the Republicans, though, for the most part, the Republican Party support President Trump full-throated. If you look at that faction of the Republican Party that is below the age of 52 years old, it's a lot of them, like, you know, they don't want to be involved in foreign wars. So they might not as much approval of the war, what President Trump doing. But if you look at the polling, for the most part, the Republican Party, they support the war. If you ask me, Ghost, how I feel and like my thoughts before we get into the content, what I'll tell you is this. I feel like the only way the United States can come out victorious in this conflict is if they stop the fighting right now. And I'm gonna spend this whole time before I jump in the comments with you guys about an hour litigating this case. You see what I'm saying? Listen, personally, and you won't find one Democrat that I know of. You won't find one Republican, definitely, and no independents that would tell you that Ayatollah was a good guy. I'm talking about the father, Khomeini, the one that got killed, would tell you that the Iranian regime has not been repressive to their people. Anyone and everyone says that. That's what it, don't y'all agree? Y'all let me know if you disagree. You know what I'm saying? I'm saying, is it any sort of question or debate, number one, how we should start off if the Iranians have been violating human rights? Is it any sort of question how we should start off if America and the United States, if what we're supposed to represent is human rights? Is that any question? No, that's no question. You see what I'm saying? So if we represent human rights, this guy is killing tens of thousands of his people. I don't think no one disputes he's a bad guy. Plenty of presidents before President Trump looked at this problem, looked at this chessboard, not saying that Iran was an imminent threat to America or not saying that it wasn't. I'm not going to argue. I'll let you guys argue it. Get down in the comments and y'all tell me how y'all feel. What is Iran? Was Iran an imminent threat or were they not? I'm not saying they were or they weren't, but I do have a point to make for you guys. That point is President Obama, who preceded President Trump's first term, dealt with Iran in this situation. So all I'm thinking is, I guess, I don't know if I'm a smart guy. You guys let me know whether or not I hear the left and the right. That's what I'm saying. I'm an independent. I'm in the middle. I hear them on both sides. They're saying, oh, well, President Trump, he shouldn't have struck Iran, or he should, or they're not an imminent threat. All I know is prior to President Trump's administration, President Obama dealt with the Iranians. He had the same set of options on his plate, on his table. Either he could go in with military force and attack them, or he could make a deal. Diplomatic means make a deal with them. So for that argument, are you guys who's saying Iran wasn't an imminent threat? All I'm saying is President Obama had to deal with them. Is that fact or fiction? He dealt with them. He decided not to do it with military options. And you guys could debate whether or not that was a good idea. What I'm saying is they must have been somewhat of a threat today in 2026. If we go backwards, you see what I'm saying? Over a decade prior to President Trump becoming president, President Obama dealt with them. Now, having said that, let's dig a little deeper into President Obama's dealing with Iran. So when he dealt with Iran, he made a little deal, the peace deal or whatever. President Trump didn't like the deal. He didn't like the nuclear deal. He didn't like it at all. One thing I can say, my opinion on that, any kind of diplomatic solution is better than a bomb. I don't care what you say. It's better than a bomb. If it's a situation where you could go in there and snatch the president and be out of there, and the next day, whenever the reporters come out and they want a reporter talk about you or analyze what you're doing, I'm saying if you gone and you out of there, I'm saying what can they say? What can they do? If you run operations like that, it's kind of hard to go against an operation like that. But I'm saying the operation with Iran, that looked more like a forever war. That's a little bit more difficult. And it's like America should have learned this lesson since 9/11, $8 trillion borrowed dollars fighting these wars that you cannot win. Afghanistan was the proof. You go in, regime change, stomp the Taliban with the world's most strongest, mightiest military. Everybody can see it. The Americans can see it. The Europeans, the Russians, the Chinese, and the whole Middle East. Why you think America has security deals with? America has bases all over the world. Because the world wants the American military. The world wants the strongest nation in the world there to help defend. So understand that. But you go into Afghanistan with the world's strongest military, you stump the Taliban, you prop up a government, and then I'm talking about, what, 20 years? And when you leave, the same Taliban is in control and they shooting at you. You see what I'm saying? Ain't conventional warfare. You're not fighting a conventional battle. You would think if two great, strong empires like America and China faced off, that'd be a conventional battle, right? But we learned this in Vietnam. If you're smaller and weaker, you're going to have different objectives. Okay, we're not going down no rabbit holes, though. You see what I'm saying? So keep walking with me. So what I'm saying is that after President Obama made that deal, whether you agree with it or not, the Republicans are going to say that the deal was a bad deal and the Democrats are going to say it's a good deal. What goes feel in the middle, ain't no bombs was dropped. It ain't about the bombs. I'm talking about the cost to America, the stock market, the gas prices. I think all of it's interconnected. Do you not think we lost 90,000 jobs? What y'all think the March job report is going to look like? You think it'll be positive? How many predicting people in here? How many betting people? Do you guys think that President Trump's March jobs report will be positive? The stock market. You see what I'm saying? The cost of that kind of conflict. So I don't know. President Obama's deal wasn't really the best deal, if you ask me, but it kept us out of war. When President Trump tore it up, this is what happens. Slowly, methodically, behind the scenes, the Iranians said, okay, the Americans want to tear up the deal. They did get $400 million from President Obama, so they had some money. And you know they sell that oil. So they started building ballistic missile systems. They started acquiring drones, drone capabilities. You see what I'm saying? All the stuff they got right now, them sea mines. And most importantly, they started enriching uranium. That's most important. You need enriched uranium to build an atomic bomb. President Biden, he become president. I'm talking about Israel is fighting a war against the whole Middle East, and Russia is violating the international order. So I don't think President Biden got a lot of time to focus on Iran, who's just been up to the normal stuff it's been for 40-something years. He ain't got a lot of time to think about that. He's got a lot of other stuff going on, foreign policy. And then domestically, he was recovering from COVID. So Iran is quietly enriching uranium, quietly developing ballistic missiles. You understand that? That's happening during Joe Biden's administration. And I'm not no Republican blaming that on Biden. I'm not President Trump. I'm not MAGA or a Republican surrogate blaming that on President Biden. I'm just telling you facts of what happened to how we get to where we are right now. You understand that? So it was being built up during President Biden. President Biden, you can't blame that on him, bro. He has so much. Think about it. Asia on fire. He's trying to manage all these conflicts and domestically. You see what I'm saying? Who thinking about Iran at this time? When Putin went in and attacked Ukraine, who talking about Iran? Nobody. We were focused on that. Distracted. So when President Trump, listen, just understand this. When President Trump comes back in the second time, he's the one who tore up President Obama's peace deal. So in my opinion, in President Trump's mind, he watched Kim Jong-un get a nuke under his leadership. President Trump went over there, if you guys don't remember, y'all don't remember that? Dennis Rodman going over there looking goofy with Kim Jong-un. President Trump going over there. President Trump went over there with Kim Jong-un. Y'all remember that? He crossed into North Korea, put his foot over the line, big deal. And then Kim Jong-un get a nuke. He played President Trump. So President Trump, who tore up the Iranian deal the first term, in his second term, the military is telling him that them boys could build a nuclear bomb. Wherever they were at, prior to President Obama recognizing that Iran was a problem and having a choice to bomb them or go to war with them, in which Tulsi Gabbard, the director of national intelligence, and President Trump was on President Obama thinking he was finna go to war with Iran because President Obama's so cool with the CIA. But he made a deal, wisdom. President Trump tore up that deal. You guys got to understand this. He's the one that tore it up. President Biden didn't tear it up. He tore it up. He ends up, by chance, the first time in over 150 years, he ends up sitting back as the 47, and guess what's on his plate again? The same thing that's been on every president's plate for the last 46 years. Prior to President Trump, 45 before President Trump, Iran and that Ayatollah, man, that's what's on his plate. And this time, the general's coming to him, General Kane, the American hero. Shout out all the veterans in the chat, man. Y'all pray for our military, man. You know what I'm saying? That's keeping us free. This is our land, man. Right, wrong, or different. We gonna get it right. Just give us a moment. You see what I'm saying? But I'm saying, so the military come to President Trump and they say, hey, guess what? Forget what Netanyahu talking about. We gonna get to Netanyahu after we get to the content, we'll get to Netanyahu. So forget Netanyahu, what he talking about. And I'm not hating on him. And my heart is with the people of Israel. I'm a Christian, understand that. I'm a Zionist. This is a Zionist talking. Forget Netanyahu from a Zionist. Because my people are with the heart of Israel as the scriptures tell us to be. Not with some of the stuff that he's doing. Regardless, we are Americans and Christ is king, understanding that. So forget what Netanyahu's talking about because he's got different goals and ambitions. We're talking about what we should be doing in this conflict and where America stands. President Trump felt like it was his responsibility after watching Kim Jong-un basically kind of play him and get a nuke, that it would be devastating for the Middle East, for Israel, and possibly Europe and America if the Iranians got a nuclear weapon. Everyone has a consensus on that. So I could understand President Trump feeling it as more of a hiatus or more of a responsibility or a duty, being that he presiding over the world situation right now. Whether you want to agree with it or not, America's like the world police, period, point blank. Just accept it. Accept reality, accept truth. You can argue whether or not we should be or not, whether we should truly be America first. Good morning, Dietrich. As you guys come in, please tap the screen, like the video, subscribe to the channel, hit that notification bell. You could argue whether or not we should be the world police, but that's what we are. The only solid standing world power since the 1940s after the Second World War. Okay? So understand where we at. President Trump felt like he had a duty, almost like it was his responsibility to ensure that the Iranians did not have a nuclear weapon. And I say it was more so, President Trump felt like he had more so of a duty than Barack Obama, because Barack Obama made a deal. He had to deal with it. They thought he was going to go to war with him. He came up with a deal, gave him $450 million, whether you agree or not. He dealt with it. But the reason why it was more on President Trump, because he actually tore that deal up. When he tore the deal up, you guys don't understand. That means American inspectors, they don't have access no more. We can't access what they're doing. And they went down in the mountains and started building a ballistic program and a nuclear program. Not a nuclear weapon yet, but they were working towards it. That's factuals. I don't care what you guys say. Just like they lied and said they got a missile could shoot only 2,000 miles, and we seen they got a missile shoot 4,000 miles. You can't trust nothing that they say. They were working on a nuclear weapon. Whether or not it was a direct imminent threat right now today or not, who knows that? I'm saying if you investigating to see, that's different. If you looking for facts, I don't see how you gonna get into the secure any kind of American intelligence agencies and get facts without breaking the law. I ain't even studying that. Whether or not it was an imminent threat or not is immaterial to me. You say, what, Ghost? That's the whole reason. Nah, it's immaterial. What I told you was material. I run him back again for the slow people in the back. And no hate on people with disabilities. I got a disability, but I ain't slow. You know what I'm saying? Listen, understand something. President Trump tore up President Obama's deal with the Iranians. It became his responsibility. By luck or chance, he becomes president again after the Iranians then built up their program, after he tore the... Well, imagine if President Trump tore up the agreement and President Biden would have got reelected. I'm saying at some point, the Israelis would have dealt with that with the Iranians, and the Americans would have had to be involved in some sort of way. But I'm saying maybe not to the extent that they are right now. Maybe not making the moves they made right now. I know President Biden, if he would have won re-election, or President Harris, or VP Harris would have won, that they wouldn't have made the moves that they made right now. So understand that President Trump felt like he had a greater duty almost than any other American president. He presided over Kim Jong-un. Remember the axis of evil back to President Bush's time, and President Obama had to deal with North Korea too. Back to President Bush's time, and way before, we've been dealing with North Koreans. And the reason we don't never hear about America and North Korea or attacking North Korea or worried or concerned about North Korea is because North Korea actually got a nuclear weapon. You see what I'm saying? Them nations feel like they're defending themselves when they get that nuclear weapon. You understand that? Defending themselves against America. So President Trump, he feels like it's an extra duty of his. But where we're at today, and my argument is the only way President Trump could win this conflict is to stop shooting right now, which he has done. Congratulations. That's the only way he can win. That's the only way America could win. That's the only way America could win is to stop shooting, bruh. That's the only way. It's to end the war. And I'm going to tell you why. Number one, what was your objectives before you went into the war? Your President Trump, their objective never was to control the Strait of Hormuz. I guarantee you, General Kane told him about the Strait. Listen, every American president, and we talking about in 47 years of the Ayatollah's rule, and before that, the Ayatollah America had their hands in Britain in affairs in Iran that led to the Ayatollah coming into power. So every American president since the 50s had to deal with Iran, but ain't none of them took President Trump's move. And the reason why, what the Democrats or what the opposition is saying about that imminent threat is why right now President Trump had to do what he did. Okay, he already obliterated the Iranians' nuclear program. So why you got to do this right now? That's what they mean about that imminent threat. I think President Trump, what he's meaning about an imminent threat, he's talking about broader implications about the Iranians and their reign of terror. That's what he's talking about. But that's why I disregard the imminent threat. I understand the reason why President Trump, of course, Operation Midnight, whether you understand Midnight Hammer, that first strike against Iran, them B-52s, whether or not you understand that strike or not, I don't hear too many people say anything about it because you don't have no Americans dead, no Americans injured. You're not spending $1 billion a day. Gas prices hadn't went up $1.15, and then everything else going up. And at the same time, stock market dropping about 5,000 points. Ain't none of that happened in the first time. That's what I'm saying. So why would... But this time is a lot different. What I'm saying is if President Trump continues to fight that war, he loses and America loses. You cannot win. How much bigger is Iran than Afghanistan? How many more people does Iran have than Afghanistan? How much more organized is the Iranian military than Afghanistan? It's not like President Obama or President Biden had a different military and different advisors than President Trump. It's the same career men and women who have been serving us honorably who are giving President Trump that same chessboard. I'm trying to get your mind to where we at. So what I'm saying, just like Operation Midnight Hammer, that first time America attacked, what did you go in there to do, President Trump? I wish I could talk to him and Secretary Hegseth and Secretary Rubio so bad. I promise you, it'll be so beneficial. What did you go in there to do, President Trump? Y'all have 4 military objectives. Military objectives. The goal is to stop Iran from their power from proceeding past their own borders, to stop Iran from projecting power outside of their borders, picking on their neighbors, being bullies, being terrorists, the world's number one state sponsor of terror. That was the military goals, objectives. How do they do that? Okay, we're going to destroy their Navy. We'll destroy their Air Force. We'll destroy as many missiles as we can. We'll destroy their drones. Not only that, their capabilities of making missiles and drones, and their capabilities of rebuilding their Air Force and their Navy. We'll kill all their leadership. As soon as you say, hey, we got a new leader, we're going to kill them too. The Israelis, well, they doing that. And President Trump, he going to have to stop them from doing that. We're going to talk about something in a second. He got to get control of Netanyahu. It's time to wrap it up. The way America wins is by stop fighting, because the military goals and objectives have been accomplished. And President Trump understands this. What they went in there originally to do. Whenever President Trump, if I could talk to you, I could tell you, whenever I heard you say that this war is militarily won, how many of us heard President Trump say that? When I heard you say it was militarily won, that was my cue that it's time to go. Because what else are you doing? You saying out your own mouth that you finna be involved in a forever war. Hey, we came in here with 4 goals. Hey, tell your wife that you go on for 4 goals on the trip, and you went and accomplished all 4 of your goals, and you ain't trying to go home. Oh yeah, you finna move over there. What I'm saying, like, you gonna get caught in a quagmire. Forever war. We watched it in Afghanistan. Iraq wasn't as long as Afghanistan, but we shouldn't have invaded them in the first place. You're gonna lose thousands of Americans' lives. I'm saying, listen, y'all don't think like ghosts. Look at that war in Ukraine. 70 to 90% of troops are on either side are being killed by drones. You gonna drop American y'all. You gonna have to travel through the mountains if you're doing some kind of large scale ground invasion. And I'm talking about you taking them tanks and all that military equipment, that heavy equipment, you going through mountains. You know, y'all know mountains. Y'all see them mountains and them side roads, all that heavy military equipment. That's not no easy endeavor. Oh, we going to take light. You know, we going to do it like Alexander the Great. You know what I'm saying? Real light units. You know what I'm saying? But I mean, you're going to have to pillage the community or where I'm saying Iraq, their border is mountains. So in the middle is desert. So you say we going to, you know what I'm saying, just repel some troops, or not repel, you know, we going to parachute some troops. We're going to get some troops down, some Marines down, probably light ghosts, probably about 10,000 in waves. We're going to just go in front of the mountains. We're going to drop them down, set up base. You know what I'm saying? You got a plan, you got a light force, you're going to quick attack in Iran, boots on the ground. I'm saying even if you did a heavy force, 100,000, 200,000, they killing with drones. They coming at you with drones. Remember in Afghanistan, if any of y'all were old enough to remember this, ain't no suicide bombers. Or they might still do that, but they not really work. They got suicide drones. The age of robotics and AI is here. Drones. They gonna be preying on Marines, killing tens of thousands. See, listen, you don't have to have a terrorist with a rocket, you know, where the military could just come and blow that terrorist out the. You feel you ain't gotta have a terrorist, like you ain't got. I'm talking about they back somewhere hidden in the mountains, flying drones at U.S. troops. Put 100,000 troops over there. They gonna die by the thousands, tens of thousands. It's gonna be a mass slaying, blood in the dark, in the desert. President Trump might not could see that. General Kane can't see that. But I'm looking at what the Ukrainians are doing to the Russians, and I could almost one thing for certain, two things for sure. That's exactly how the Iranians are going to fight the Americans. That's how any smaller power in the age of robotics and artificial intelligence is going to fight a larger power. Ukraine and Russia is the model. Russia supposed to be the second baddest military in the world, because China, regardless of how big, it's the largest military in the world, but China is mostly unproven. When a Chinese soldier been in any military conflict, the Russians and the Americans were the two powers. The Soviets and the Americans have merged since the 40s. Still that, really. It's just that America, y'all, I laughed at Putin hard, how he got embarrassed thinking he was going to go in there in 48 hours. He was going to take Ukraine. The world changed. Artificial intelligence, robotics, it changed warfare forever. We're seeing that 70 to 90 people are being killed by drones. The Russians might outnumber the Ukrainians 2-1, 3-1. But the reason why you can't go in there and muscle them, because they find drones. They killing you with a 400. Listen, but I don't want to get too deep into this, but they'll take out $2 million, $35 million jet with a swarm of $400 drones. They'll just crash them into your jet, put little explosives on the drones. They put anything on them drones, bro. Them drones be hunting men. It's different kind of battle, different kind of warfare. I hear all these strategists talk about putting them boots on the ground. That's a big error. You cannot win. What you gonna do? You cannot win. On top of that, guys, listen to me. On top of that, guys, y'all know I told y'all where I'm at. I'm 30 miles north of Lower Manhattan, at what I call cheap gas stations. Y'all know what those cheap gas stations in y'all community. You know the gas station across the street always 30 to 40 cents higher. Well, I mean at the cheap gas station here in Hudson Valley. 5 weeks ago, gas was $2.77. I went to put gas in my car yesterday, and at that same cheap gas station, gas was $3.89. In 5 weeks, that's $1.12 instant increase, a little less than a month after the war has started. This is a price that's been inflicted on Americans at the worst time possible. Not because midterm elections, yeah, because of that too. That's bad politically for President Trump and the Republicans. But I'm saying this is a time, America first, where Americans are hurting and have been hurting. Maybe not the rich people, maybe not the millionaires, but we talking about millions, more than half of Americans who make less than $100,000 a year. They felt the crunch. Whether it's healthcare, whether it's expensive rent. I'm saying President Trump promised to lower the prices. America first. We're going to stop spending money on foreign wars. We're going to stop wasting money. We're going to start investing in America. America first. I'm saying giving billionaires tax cuts. Maybe that's your definition of investing in America. But I'm saying, like, what about the people that's hurting? And you spending $1 billion a day? $8 trillion borrowed dollars America has spent on fighting these endless wars. President Trump promised America first. That's why that gas prices is so much higher. Listen, you could talk to the average voter, the average American, and the average American, people who don't love politics like I do, they probably don't care nothing about this war. You go talk to a 22-year-old female or a 33-year-old female, some of them in the politics, you know what I'm saying? Some of them have daddies talk politics, or they just might be to it themselves. But the average one, they don't care nothing about Iran in this war. But what I'm saying, when that gas price, and that's not just for America, that's for the whole world. America wasn't attacked like it was in 9/11. President Obama didn't do that. See, that's the difference. What I'm saying, you put boots on the ground, you think gas prices going to get lower. All y'all Republicans, all y'all MAGA people, I'm sorry for just a second. Because it's the President Trump's party, it's the people he talking to. All y'all war hawks, you think President Trump putting boots on the ground going to help gas prices get lower? You think it's going to help the stock market rebound from President Trump putting boots on the ground? Is that what you think? How is it going to help us or America first? How is it going to help the world or the world's economy? How is it going to help the Gulf states from being attacked by Iran? Because I'm telling you, President Trump's next adventure was lights out, night time for the Iranians. President Trump finna hit their power grid, finna take away the electricity for the Iranians. And I'm telling you, the response to that, because they still shoot missiles, they still shooting drones, Hezbollah, Iranians, they still hitting the Israelis. So I'm saying, I promise you what's going to happen. If you hit Cargill and you take out their power, and I'm talking about they going to do the same, just like they have this whole war, they going to do the same thing to you. They going to go out to Kuwait. They're going to go out to side in Qatar. And I'm saying they all goal. They're not trying to beat you. Their goal is to get them gas prices to $6. That's a world crisis. This is a terrorist organization. No country. It's a terrorist organization. And President Trump, I think they are a lot more organized than you think they are. They might not be able to communicate as good, but they're doing some sort of organization and communication to continually to pound Israel, to continually to be able to respond. I'm saying this is with your whole 2 times, 3 times decapitation of your government and their leaders. And I'm saying you just shot the Indian 4,000. They just did that. I'm saying they still executing a plan. 25 years, they've been ready. They've been ready for America. So what I'm saying is, you got to understand the argument why I'm saying this is how President Trump won. You accomplish the military objectives. It's not about no pride. It's not about proving no point. You accomplish the military objectives. So that's a lesson learned from every president forward. When you going to to settle these differences in the Middle East, because I'm not naive, and I know this isn't going to be the last American president and the last time we do this. President Trump, maybe you could show all the further presidents on how to do this. The original military objectives, once you stray from them one time, you are caught in a forever war.
You're going to be putting these docks in the water. Can you
yes,
move your
sir.
car down there? Because if you get blocked in, you're going to be stuck here for an hour.
Okay. Yes, sir. Guys, I apologize about that. Yeah, if you're going to be, bro, caught in a forever war, bro. So that's my whole argument. Once you accomplish those military objectives, my dude, the only thing left for you to do is to get out. That's the only thing left to do is get out. It's like, what you still there for? Oh, now we want to do the Strait of Hormuz. That's when it looks like you're trying to be like an imperialist, or you're just trying to control or I don't know what you call it, bruh. But I'm saying you went there with goals and you had objectives and goals from the get-go. So I'm saying once you accomplish them goals and them objectives, that's when it's time to leave. Because while you still there, talking about doing other things, it's just gonna escalate and get worse. And America can't win like that. The world can't win like that. You ain't getting no golden age like that. You ain't getting no peace and prosperity like that. President Trump promised a golden age. He promised the lower prices on day one. He has to recognize this. And regardless of what you say, this is the first American president who is looking like he is making the decision that the other U.S. presidents not only made in Iran, but should have made in Iraq too, and Afghanistan as well. Diplomacy is a better weapon than bombs. You might say President Obama understood that. That's why he used diplomacy, and maybe so. You could look at it like that. But I'm saying out of all the presidents who had the courage, or maybe not the courage, but the gall to attack a Middle Eastern power, what I'm saying is he's looking like right now, by announcing that America has stopped shooting for 5 days, and we trying to make a deal with Iran. If he's able to pull that off, he's looking like he's making the decision that should have been made in Iraq too, or Afghanistan one. When President Bush came out there famously on that aircraft carrier and declared victory, that means America should have been gone. If you declaring victory, what you still fighting for? What you still there for? It don't make no sense. Diplomacy is a better weapon than bombs. So, guys, I'm going to play some audio for you guys. This is from the BBC, okay? And it was released yesterday, actually, on the 23rd, okay? So, guys, give me just a second, and I'm going to see where I'm going to take y'all. Look, when she starts off, the reason why I'm not playing it from the start, because when she's starting off, she's talking about a reversal for President Trump's position in the weekend. And I know President Trump, he might be a little bit emotional, and he might listen to stuff like that and let that influence him. That's why if I was one of President Trump's advisors, I'd try to keep all that nonsense, him away from that nonsense, because that can infest your mind. It don't matter if he reversed his position as long as he get in the right position, because the right position at this point, on March the 24th of 2026, from the actions that's been erased in this war, the only way America could win right now is to leave. That's the only way you win. You risk strengthening Russia and China through this conflict. Russia, you had them pinned, they're getting rich now. I'm not going to hate on President Trump for his moves. He ain't have a choice. It's like the Iranians, the Russians, Chinese, the BRICS, they ran a hoax. They've been waiting on you for you to come through. They know what, that's why the other presidents didn't do it. Yeah, he didn't have a choice. They got checkmate. You gotta get Iranian. Oh, we gotta lift sanctions off the nation that you bombing. When the chessboard looking like that, to where a conflict that you've been trying to stop with Russia, he done made personal calls to Putin, asking Putin to stop this war, then spent probably tens of thousands of dollars sending U.S. diplomats and the time and energy meeting with Putin in Alaska to try to stop the war, and now you giving this man money to fight this war after he put sanctions on him due to this conflict. The Chinese, they sitting there, they ain't spent $8 trillion America spent over the last 20 years. The Chinese, they spending money to build their own China first. Chinese believe in China first. Real talk. So I'm saying, I don't see how it's helping like the only way you could win. Because if you continue to fight to try to prove a point, if it's about your ego, not just President Trump, the military, America, whatever, if it's an egotistical thing, that's how they're going to drag you in. And slowly but surely, America's power is eroding. America's influence. Who want to trust a country? You going to make all the gas, but you got to do this without. You see what I'm saying? So, guys, let me go ahead and play this clip for you guys. If y'all hadn't liked the video, y'all double tap the screen for me. Make sure you guys subscribe to the channel and hit that notification bell. I'll see y'all down in the comments. I'm going to get down with y'all in just a second.
Them. The point is, though, to have victory in war, you need a defined objective, you need a clear exit strategy, you need a plan for what's coming next. And the evidence is that he had none of those things, whereas Iran has had...
I disagree. I think the military had a clear objective. That's why, you know, what I choose and what I'm playing. I think the military had a clear objective. Politically, whether President Trump had, he might, war president, not war president, who cares? Politically, he might not have, I'm saying militarily, I think they had a clear, defined objective. They had a plan for what's next. The Strait of Hormuz wasn't part of the objective. It wasn't the plan for what's next. The Strait of Hormuz, Titan Brew, good morning, is mission impossible. That's how you get sucked in. That's how you lose. And this loss is going to be more visible and embarrassing than in Afghanistan. Way more. That's what I'm saying. They're going to kill probably with them drones. They want you to come in. You sleepwalking. You know how the Russians lost a whole army against the Ukrainians. Their army numbered at about 1 million, 1.2 million before the war, and they done lost 1.2 million troops. They recycled a whole army, a whole military. Them drones. Don't. I'm talking about you walking into the gates of hell and the devil and inviting you in and you don't even see that. That's the gates of hell you walking into, man. That you don't want to do, I promise you don't want to put no American boots on the ground, bro. It's going to destroy you, the Republicans, probably Americans' influence on the world, catastrophic.
This plan to make this into a war of attrition. And what President Trump has done has dismissed all those worries and doubts that previous American presidents have had about attacking Iran because of all the difficulties it would cause. And I think he's discovering that that's why they chose not to destroy the Islamic Republic, but try to contain it instead.
I agree with that. President Trump is saying that this is a very difficult opposition here. You see what I'm saying?
Jeremy, thank you very much. Jeremy Bowen there.
I agree with that, 10,000%. That last part is the part that I agree with, and that's why I played it. You see what I'm saying? Because I believe that President Trump has seen and realized. Guys, listen, President Trump, thinking out loud like he does often, he's sitting there in the White House, they asking him questions, and he's saying, look, I done asked the United Kingdom, France, Germany, just say the NATO allies. Spain went over there to the South Pacific, South Korea, we got troops over there. Japan, we got troops over there. Philippines, you can ask all these people to help you in the Strait of Hormuz. They see that that's a suicide mission. It's mission impossible. Quagmire. And ain't nobody want to help you. And thinking out loud, President Trump saying, hey, well, we not getting no oil from over there. So we finna spend our money, lose our troops, lose our equipment to fight somebody else's war. It don't make no sense. At this point, President Trump, is the time to quit fight, quit shoot. And I'm going to tell you in a second, I believe he need to stop Israel from shooting. Because I'm saying that's why the Iranians are coming out and saying that they ain't talking to the Americans. Because if the Israelis are killing, listen to me. President Trump is trying to make a deal with the Iranians, okay? And he's talking to unspecified Iranians that was smart of him to do it. Because he come out and he names, which the Israelis probably could find out, really with the intelligence, but that'd be probably some disrespect to America and President Trump. But I'm saying if the Israelis find out who the Americans are talking to in Iran, they'll kill him. That's why President Trump, you got to rein Bibi in. Because I don't see how you going to get a good peace deal. Because I'm saying what I just said is something that can really happen, and it can happen in short order. That the Israelis can actually kill who President Trump is negotiating with right now before they get a peace deal. Just out of control. So I think he got to rein Bibi in just a little bit. What y'all think? Y'all jump down in the comments and let me know. That could still be Israel's allies, the military objectives, not Israel's objectives. The U.S. military objectives to make Israel safer, to make the Iranians safer, to bring a lasting peace and prosperity and stability in that region have been accomplished. Everything else is overkill, mission creep, and a war that you can't win. If you guys don't know the news, President Trump has announced that the U.S. and Iran are in talks for peace. I'm about to play the entire audio of the presser, but I just want to say this is the best news for the United States, Iran, Israel, and the rest of the world. Because of that, guys, yesterday, the Dow Jones Industrial stock market rallied over 600 points. At one point, it was up 1,000 points. That's what the world investors have been waiting to hear. S&P 500, that's y'all's 401ks, and NASDAQ, they all rallied too. All the markets were in the green. Whenever President Trump said he put a 5-day pause and trying to get a peace deal with Iran, all the markets in the green. The price of oil, which had risen to $113 per barrel. President Trump, listen to this, $113 a barrel. If you attack the Iranians, their power grid, you can have demolished it just like they demolished Afghanistan, the Taliban in Afghanistan, and they were still, I promise you, if you hit their power grid, they're going to cause gas to crude oil to be at $1.50. It would have been at $1.50 by Friday. That means that $2.77 gas would have been over $5 a gallon, easily. Close to $6, if not $6 a gallon by Friday. How can you win that? Who want to pay $6 a gallon for gas? They already are in Cali. In Georgia, they playing $5 in some places. You see what I'm saying? So you gotta look at the chessboard. You got to play chess here, man. It ain't about looking strong and having the last word. It's about getting the win. But because President Trump said he coming up with a peace deal, price of oil fell down to about 90 cents, $90 per barrel. So gas gonna fall. You give it a couple of days, and President Trump continue with this pause, continue to say he talking to him, continue to stay on the positivity, we're gonna watch gas prices slowly drop. Essentially, President T slowed down what was about to be a horrible week for the entire world economy. I seen week 4 as being a pivotal point. That's why I said like on the weekend, guys, it's time to end this. It's a pivotal point in which we either peel back from the ledge or we fell into the abyss. That was the option we had. Trying to secure the straight would have been the abyss, and you guys respect Ghost predicting. You try to secure that straight, you think you're going to get out there in 5 weeks. You think you're going to get out of there in 6 weeks. That's the pivotal point. You try to secure that straight, you're going to be there for a minute. I predict at least 6 months. If you hit their power, you going because you can't leave. It's no way you could leave. Because the way they're going to retaliate, I'm saying if you leave, the Chinese going to come fill that void. They going to offer that security to the Gulf states. And why wouldn't the Gulf states take the security from the China? Listen, if President Trump would have hit that power grid, the Iranians, they would have just started raining terror. I'm talking about hitting power grids, hitting oil fields, and I'm talking about the world economy would have hated that. The gas prices would have I'm talking about utter disaster. The Iranians would have turned it up. That's an escalation. Due to that turn up, strategically, America would not be able to leave. Because if you leave, you look weak. The Gulf nations probably going to try to kick you out of their country. Want your bases gone. You can't protect us. The Iranians wreaking havoc. And then why wouldn't we choose the Chinese over you? We do more business with the oil with the Chinese. So that might secure the strait. In addition, the Iranians are cool with the Chinese. So the Iranians probably will listen to the Chinese. So why wouldn't we go with the Chinese over you? If you allow, because I'm telling you, the Iranians, they were going to wreak havoc on the world economy, on me and your pockets, and on those Gulf nations, which would have had unintended consequences for the United States, which would have meant that, yeah, that's mission creep. So he had a choice. You either peel back off the ledge. I'm saying listen to this. Listen to me, y'all. Listen good so you can understand this argument. Because we about to play President Trump audio. It's a little bit long. I'm going to play y'all the press briefer, and then we're going to wrap it up. I want y'all to hear him in his own words so y'all can see where I'm coming from. What I'm saying is if America would have continued on that path, I told you 3 weeks, if he would have continued on that path, you was headed to the destruction of the American empire. And you guys can laugh all y'all want to, but it's some people on the stream who ain't laughing because they know ghosts be predicting stuff, and I be knowing what I'm talking about. You're going to get yourself in a situation that you're not going to be able to get out of. Because when they hit them Gulf states like that, and that's an embarrassment for America because you got bases over there. You're supposed to be protecting them like a security alliance. And Iran is just, they're saying, hey, America can't protect you. America, just like how Ukraine is embarrassing Russia, that's what Iran's going to do to you. Just like in Ukraine is killing the American troops by the thousands, the Russian troops, by the thousands per week. That's what the Iranians going to do with you. It's a different world. Different dynamics, those drones, that artificial intelligence, that robots, it changed the scene. On top of that, chess. This ain't checkers, this is chess. On top of that, Iran is much Hey, look, we got Afghanistan. You got the example. So whatever Afghanistan was times Iran by three times worse. And on top of that, add in, y'all doing algebra, you playing chess with me, add in drones and artificial intelligence and unmanned. Listen, I could get 12 Iranians and I could put them in a cave, in a mountain. You can't get to them. You don't know where they at. They got mountains all over the country. You got to understand the reality on the ground. And I could have 12 men to access them drones on the ground, putting them in position to launch them. They could get autonomous drones that could fly and kill by themselves. They don't need no operators. That's what I'm saying. And you fighting this terrorist regime, they're going to be able to shoot back at you. But because President Trump did not lose focus, he said he's going to choose peace. Listen, the reason why this could be a victory for you, President Trump, because you did have the courage to reach back and do what ain't no other president before you did, and you slapped him in the mouth. Regardless of what the Iranians say, go look at their country. It looked like their country, and we talking about a country bigger as Alaska, been hit by 30 Hurricane Katrinas. 30 of them. Destruction everywhere. Everywhere. And he could kill your whole power. He could cut the lights out nighttime in Iran. But what I'm saying, it's not about what you can do. You got to play chess. This is how you win. Let them talk. Let the Democrats talk. Let everybody talk. They could talk, flapper, trapper. The U.S. military, don't make them look weak. Don't make the military look like Russia. Unintended consequences that's going to benefit China and what was a weakened Russia. That this war is allowing you to re-strengthen. And you giving money to the Iranians, regardless of what you say. That's what's going on. God's going to keep it real. The only way, guys, play chess with me. What other move does he have? He ain't got no move. That's not going to destroy our pockets, break his promises, go against America first, hurt the world, hurt America standing on the world stage. I'm saying in the Gulf states, America can't protect us. That's what they're going to say, because the Iranians are going to have no restraints. What you do, you know, it's chess, baby, not checkers. Common sense ain't that common. You put a dog in a corner, what that dog gonna do? He gonna start more viciously and viciously and viciously. And they could be more vicious, as you can see. Might have caught you off surprise. It didn't catch General Kane and them off surprise, but President Trump, it might have caught you off surprise. They could be a lot more aggressive than what Iraq and Afghanistan was when Afghanistan ended up taking power again, when you had to run up out of there, embarrassing America. Because President Trump, you got less than 3 years. You got to remember that. So you're going to end up having America in a conflict that you're not going to be able to end. This is the way you stay in control and power. Because what Ghost said, even if you don't get a peace deal with them, I'm saying I completely destroyed their country. The people have united around the regime because they thinking that Israel and President Jed, they want anything, they want to take over their own nation. They don't want President Trump and Israel to run their nations. That's not what they want in Iran. So they rallying behind the regime. So the regime look like it's going to be difficult for them to stay in power, BB. It backfired on you. That your goal, it didn't work. Instead of turning on the regime, the people, not everybody, but in large part, they rallied behind them. Now they standing 10 toes. And so I'm saying they're going to fight you to the bitter death. And you know how they get down. 77 virgins. Diplomacy is a better weapon than bombs in this situation. Diplomacy is a better weapon than bombs in this situation. Point blank, period. Better weapon. So after President Trump came out and announced this, what I'm finna play, and look, I'm gonna play this. This is what he announced yesterday, and I'm saying he just comes out the blue and he announces this. And when he announces this, what I'm finna play right now, I'm giving it a second because I'm gonna get to the point where they start asking him questions. When he announces this yesterday, I said, look, here come Ghost. Ghost, see if Ghost know what he's talking about. I'm going to look at the stock market. What the stock market? It was up 1,000 points. What crude oil? Where was it at? $1.13. Where's it at right now? It dropped like 25 cents a whole quarter. Just because he came out and announced that he finna make a peace deal. I'm going to play this. We're going to say a little bit more. And then I'm going to give my final analysis and I'm going to jump down in the comments, guys. Let me play. This is President Trump.
You're not telling the truth when it comes to productive conversations, Dan. Well, they're going to have to get themselves better public relations people. We have had very, very strong talks. We'll see where they lead. We have major points of agreement. I would say almost all points of agreement. Perhaps that hasn't been conveyed. The communication, as you know, has been blown to pieces. They're unable to talk to each other. But we've had very strong talks. Mr. Witkoff and Mr. Kushner had them. They went, I would say, perfectly. I would say that if they carry through with that, it'll end that problem, that conflict, and I think it'll end it very, very substantially. We have very much in mind our partners in the Middle East. We've had great relationships with a lot of them, as you know. A lot of them were surprisingly hid, and I was surprised to see it, and so was everyone else, but we've had...
See, that part right there, listening to President Trump, if I'm advising him, Secretary Rubio, that's what's telling me, that's chess. Surprisingly hit. And I'm telling you, the surprisingly is not over with. Because if I was there, you hit my infrastructure, I can't shoot you, America, you too far away. I could shoot at Israel, but it take the drones and the rockets so far, they gonna see it coming and shoot them down. The closest, easiest targets to hit is Kuwait, because I know he can't protect them. Qatar, I know he can't protect them. Saudi, I know he can't protect them. Saudi is a much harder target, but still. The UAE, Dubai, all them pretty places, I'm finna blow them in this terror organization. What else are they gonna do? Surprisingly, they hit our neighbors. President Trump, thank the Lord in heaven, because I'm telling you, and once they did that and embarrassed America, showing that America can't protect these nations, America would have had to stomp on Iran, and that probably would have. Into them Marines already on the way. 2,500, gonna be 5,000, gonna be 10,000, gonna be 20,000, gonna be 100,000, and America gonna end up looking like Putin does in Ukraine. If you ain't never listened to Ghost Rider, I pray to God you listen to him right now, because that was what was gonna happen. Christ is King. I see someone said Christ is King down below in the comments. Yes, indeed. Let me finish playing this audio for you guys.
They're very much in mind in the discussions. So the discussions took place yesterday. They went into yesterday evening. They want very much to make a deal. We'd like to make a deal too. We're going to get together today by probably phone, because it's very hard to find a country. It's very hard for them to get out, I guess. But we'll at some point very, very soon meet. We're doing a 5-day period. We'll see how that goes. And if it goes well, we're going to end up with settling this. Otherwise, we'll just keep bombing our little hearts out.
That bombing our little hearts out, President Trump, I know that's just a part of his personality, but that just makes it sound like you like a television president. You're not a war president, which you're not. President Trump ain't BB. He's not Zelensky. That's not what he is. He's a businessman. He's not a warlord or a war hawk. But I'm saying, like, just that comment, just like, I know And I know that's not a big deal, but just like there, you see what the markets do. They hang on your words, President Trump. You are the president of the United States. You know what I'm saying? So at all times, my brother, be guarded with your language at this time in particular.
A top person, don't forget. We've wiped out the leadership phase 1, phase 2, and largely phase 3. But we're dealing with the man who I believe is the most respected and the leader. It's a little tough. We've wiped out everybody.
Is that the Supreme Leader?
No, not the Supreme Leader. We don't. Well, nobody heard of the second Supreme Leader, the Son.
Are these direct?
We have not heard from the Son. Every once in a while you see a statement made, but we haven't. We don't know if he's living. But the people that seem to be running it, and they seem that based on really fact, because things they've said have taken place.
Mr. President, I know you support this.
I don't want him to be killed. Okay? I don't want him to be killed.
That's what I'm talking about right there. He's saying he doesn't want him to be killed. That's a point of contention that I have right now with Bibi Netanyahu. President Trump is not trying to make a peace deal for America. Iran can't even hit America. That's why they're arguing over the imminent threat thing. If Iran could hit America, it wouldn't be an argument. Because Iran can't hit America, it's an argument. So he's not trying to make a peace deal in large part for America, in large part Israel and BB. This peace deal is going to benefit you. Mr. Netanyahu, if I could speak to you directly for just a second, as a Christian, understanding that you are presiding over what I believe is the Holy Land. If I could speak to you with my heart towards the Israeli people, President Trump trying to make a peace deal largely in part fighting your war. Your wasn't there, you know what I'm saying? But because Israel is there, they're the little enemy, the little devil, Israel. America's the great enemy, the great devil. Israel's the little enemy, the little devil. Arch nemesis, rivals, wipe Israel off the map. Yeah, that's Israel's war. That's Netanyahu's beef. Since 1996, Netanyahu been telling us that the Iranians are 5 seconds from getting a nuclear bomb. What's up, Angelo, my brother? BB been telling us that the Iranians are 5 seconds from getting a nuclear bomb. And he's been saying that since 1996. I played the audio for you. I got from Candace Owens. You see what I'm saying? So understand that this is Israel's war. So to hear President Trump say that he can't even talk to the Iranian leader, or the Iranian leader can't even say that he's trying to make a peace deal with America because they scared that the Israelis gonna kill. Bro, I'm saying you got to get on the same page. You and Israel got to get on the same page. You and Bibi got to get on the same page. I said, President Trump, it's time to make that call, and I got to salute Big President T this morning for picking up the phone and putting the American interest first, for putting the Israeli interest first, for putting the... You know how many people, the citizens that you went to help in Iran, you gonna create a human rights crisis if you hit their power grid. Now you got regular people without no power. That you creating a human rights crisis in Iran, and when the people you went to help, you say you want to free. That's what I'm saying. The peace deal helps the Iranian people. Listen, in the streets, they got something when they say called spin the block. You know what I'm saying? You got this dude who been doing something to you, or maybe he killed your girl or he did something bad. You got to go render justice. And so you go to render the justice, but you know what I'm saying? There's police on the block, or he got neighbors around or children around. You can't do it then. You cannot do it right now. You got to look at the chessboard and because if you overplay your hand and try to make America be more powerful than necessary, I'm telling you, you finna look like Putin. You're going to look like a clown. The way America wins, the way you look good is by ending the war. So he picked up the phone. He did the right choice. He got Iranian leadership on the phone. He can't even tell us who he talking to. All he could say is not the supreme leader. But he can't tell us who he talking to. And out the U.S. president's mouth, out the most powerful country's president in the world's mouth, he says he can't say it because the leader might get killed. Get killed by who? The boogeyman? Get killed by Israel, your ally. That's why you got to pick up the phone and call BB now. President Trump, you know that. That's how negotiations work. If you got the Iranians on the phone and you know how important it is to get this deal, why Israel still bombing them? Hey, BB. Hey, BB. Hold up for 5 days, BB. I've been capitulating to you, BB, giving you everything you want. Since 1995, BB, you've been waiting to do this. This been a career goal and ambition for you because you are a war president. A warlord. And so, BB, listen, you said that Trump been the greatest fear in Israel, and I gave you 4. First of all, 12-day war, I gave you 12 days back then. You know, Iran and Israel usually fight each other with proxies. They don't usually fight each other directly. President Trump, I gave you 12 days back then, and then I gave you 4 weeks. And it ain't no say that I might not give you some more time down the road, but for today, BB, pump the brakes. Pump the brakes. Because I promise you, America stopped shooting in Iran and Israel stopped shooting in Iran. The gas going to keep going down. Yeah, the stock market going to go back up. That's what I'm saying. That's what you need to do right now. You need to tell Israel to pump the brakes. BB, pump the brakes. Pump the brakes, BB. That's what time it is right now. We finna bring this to an end. Because we can't win right now. And you ain't trying to win. You just trying to cause as much destruction as you can because that's your out. You trying to get as many licks in as you can because that's your out. But I'm trying to win. I'm trying to keep America. Because President Trump, what's going to happen once you hit Iran? Say the 5 days come up. Because this is what happened the last 2 times he tried to negotiate with him. If the 5 days is on Friday, say on the 28th, President Trump decides that, hey, the Iranians, we can't negotiate with them. I tried to make a deal with them. I couldn't make a deal with them. I hit their power grid. On the 29th, if gas then went back down to about $3 by Friday, on the 29th, gas going to be right back up to $3.50. On the 30th, it's going to be $4. Oh, by the end of the month, gas probably going to be over $4.50. That's what's going to happen. And you're going to see a lot of fires in those Gulf states that you didn't think they were going to hit, President Trump. That's going to make America look horrible. Like they cannot protect those nations. Ain't no country going to defend on. What's the sense of the Patriot missiles and all this great firepower? And they look out their doors, the Qataris, and they whole country on fire. They oil fields on fire. They ain't getting no money right now. The money clogged up. How you think they're going to feel about America then? Why wouldn't they welcome the Chinese? Because we know what the Iranians are capable of. America's never made this endeavor. They have now. Now we know what the Iranians are capable of. We going to get the Chinese bases in here. We ain't going to even need no more bases because the Chinese cool with them, so we going to let the Chinese get the influence over the Middle East. That's what's finna happen. That's what's on the board right now. You might not could see the chessboard. You need to get somebody who could tell you that's what's on the chessboard. It ain't nothing but L's. Militarily, you could defeat them. In conventional war, you could smash everything, but I'm saying you would smash everything and walk out with L's. China would become the world power. That's what's on the board right now. Point blank, period. That's why ain't no other American president went and done it. But I'm saying from this point, President Trump, if you can maintain, you won't have no March the 31st. You don't need no more damage in those Gulf nations. I don't see it be happening without you de-escalating completely. Israel 2, BB 2, stop shooting. It ain't no way in the world you said we gonna stop shooting for 5 days. Well, nah, Israel need to stop shooting too. You gonna get a better deal like that. You gonna gain their confidence. So if y'all trying to get peace in the fight and it's 2-on-1, okay? And I back up and I stop throwing punches and I say, hey, I'm trying to make a deal with you, but your little buddy's still punching me. What? Why would I'm gonna come out and say the same. And then the last 2 times I try to make a deal with you, you punched me in the mouth while I was talking. Yeah, on the American side, that's cool, that's cute, President Trump winning, but I'm saying on their side, you got to look at it from both ways. If you're trying to make a deal, you got to get in their mind too. And I'm saying in their mind, why would they trust you? Why would they announce to people that they talking with you so you can embarrass them again? Or the Israelis could come kill them? That's too much going on for you to get a trustworthy deal. You can't trust them. We can't trust them, but they can't trust you either. I'm saying I would deal in good faith. Hey, BB, just like you called them, and you said, hey, okay, so we're going to pause this for a second. Call BB and say, hey, pause that for a second. America cannot win if the shooting stops. What I'm saying, I didn't think President Trump, if I was him, I would stop all the shooting without a deal. Without even having to make a deal, I would stop the shooting. Because everything's going to start going back to normal. That's really how you win in the minds of the citizens of the world, because the whole world watching this. As far as the government, it looking like they punked you or something like that. You could come back. Hey, Iran, you could see us in December now. I'm sure BB could be President Trump, little pit bull, the sick on him. You could see us again in December now. That is an option. It's not like we running away or we done went home or we just didn't turn our back from this situation. It's just we not going to punch you no more right now. But I'm going to just back up for a second. I'll let gas get back to where it was. Oil, let things simmer down, get back to normal. Golden age. Stop them from hitting those Gulf nations. And how I look at it, I give them the Christmas. I recalibrate, give them the Christmas. And come 2027, after the midterms are over, after everything behind us, the last 2 years, they say I'm a lame duck president. Okay, Iran, let's finish. Let's get back to what we was working on. That's always an option too. I'm saying stopping the bombs, stopping the war right now on the chessboard is the best move possible. Whether you get a deal or not, right now. You give them to December. I'm telling y'all don't see this. All the people can see and think and hear right now is that the great Satan and the little Satan are trying to take over our country. We don't like the regime, but it's not like we fans of President Trump and the Israelis. Not that much fan. Like we want them to be our leaders. Like what they did in Venezuela. It ain't no telling what the Iranian government propaganda telling the people over there. You see what I'm saying? What I'm saying is when the bombing stops, when the punch, see, if you in the middle of a fight, you get punched in the eye, you don't really feel the swelling. You can't really tell, you know what I'm saying? You getting socked. But I'm saying when you go over there in the corner and you ain't in the fight, you ain't got the adrenaline, that's what's going to happen to Iran. When the bombs stop, the people start coming outside and they really see what's going on. They start looking around their communities and they see their communities destroyed. They're, however, upset when Israel, when you don't have the great devil over there, America bombing, and you don't have the little devil over there, Israel bombing, and it's just the people and their government, and they see how destroyed their country, they're going to lose all kind of confidence in their government. But they can't get there until you stop bombing. See, that's something I don't know if anyone's telling President Trump. Chess. If you said the people was the reason why you doing it, well, the people kind of then left you, BB. You expected them to go out there and try to take over the government. They ain't nowhere close to doing that. The people, President Trump, hey, y'all go take over the institutions. They're making you look. That's like a fantasy. So look, this is what I'm saying. If you're thinking about the people, this is strategy. The people, they'll turn on that government now. Once they see the damage that's been done, they're going to put pressure on the government. There's going to be every reason in the world, the Iranians, to make a deal. They're going to soften up by Christmas, especially they know the number one and number two ahead of them leader is dead. And they were fearing and hiding for their life back in February and March. So they understand that. So I'm saying the leverage, he's going to have the leverage if he stops shooting right now. If you get bogged down into a fight, you're not going to have the leverage no more. Let me play some more of what he's saying, and then I'm going to get to the closing and jump down there into the comments.
I don't want him to be killed. Okay? I don't want him to be killed. Nobody wants to be that. Nobody wants that job right now, you know? Nobody's exactly looking forward to being the head of that particular country, but perhaps we'll be able to solve that problem.
Mr. President, you deployed ICE agents to American airports. Newsmax, sir. You deployed ICE agents.
You're not doing a very good job.
You deployed ICE agents.
You're not doing a good job. Did you hear me? Okay, go ahead.
What exactly do you want from
You're
these
blaming
folks?
taking CNN over Newsmax.
Yeah, big CNN over everybody, President Trump. Shout out Caitlin Collins, boy. That's some real reporting. Real
No
reporting.
nuclear bomb, no nuclear weapon, not even close to it. Low key on the missiles. We want to see peace in the Middle East. We want.
He said no nuclear bomb, no nuclear weapon, not even close to it, no ballistic missiles, slow down, reduce, peace in the Middle East. Those are his objectives. How you going to achieve that by trying to take over the Strait of Hormuz? How you going to achieve that by dropping a bomb on the civilian infrastructure of Iran, cutting the lights off for the regular people? They're going to be super mad at you, President Trump. They're going to be super mad at BB. They're going to stand with their government when you do that. And then you're going to get the Gulf nations ain't going to trust you no more after the Iranians finish, because that's who they're going to target, civilian sites. That's what I'm saying. So here in President Trump, your objectives, peace, just you and Israel stop dropping bombs and let's see how much peace in the Middle East we're going to get. If you and Israel stop dropping bombs tomorrow, I'll guarantee you Iran, that whole situation going to go silent, completely silent. That's how you get peace in the Middle East. You done already took out the nuclear. I mean, you hit over, what, 10,000 targets, 15, 20,000 targets, you and Israel combined the whole month. I'm saying you, it ain't nothing else really. You got to try to bomb civilian stuff now. It ain't nothing else to bomb. You done finished the objectives. The only way America wins, the only way Israel wins, the only way Iran wins, the only way you get a victory is by stopping the war. I'm litigating a point. That's what I'm doing from every angle, playing chess. It ain't saying he can't go back in December. I'm talking about today, March 24th. Not one more American bullet, no more American bombs, not one more American dollar, not one more American life. Not March 24th to December 31st or December 25th or whatever. You got to end it. You got to call BB and tell him, hey, man, this the end game right here, man. We finna get our way up out of here. That's what's finna happen. We about to go. Because you hit that power stretch. I don't care if the Gulf nation's telling you that or not. President Trump, you ignore that. You going to kick America. President Trump, you are going to kick America out of there. You and Israel. And you going to make Israel a whole lot more unsafe.
The nuclear dust, we're going to want that. and I think we're going to get that. We've agreed to that. Yeah, we've agreed to that.
You don't want the enriched uranium before you can end this.
And we want no enrichment, but we also want the enriched uranium.
Maybe a travel advisor.
Only way you could get all of that done, President Trump, and he knows that, is if he makes a deal. The alternative, the United States about to bomb power plants in Iran, which I believe would have sent gas to well over $5. Due to the Iranian response, it has sent gas to well over $5 per gallon by the end of the week. And the stock market would have dropped to the 44,000 point range without a doubt, the Dow Jones. Your 401ks and NASDAQ bleeding. You see, Iran would have struck out at its Gulf neighbors, striking out at the stability in the region and the world energy market that would have sent the price of oil soaring. It just was not a wise decision. It's not a good decision. The military objectives are accomplished. It doesn't matter what Iran wants to do. It should be diplomacy at all costs. President Trump, you don't let Iran dictate whether the United States come up with a deal or not. You dictate that. You don't have to drop bombs to get them to that point. Start sanctioning them again. You could smother them. End the war, get things back to almost normal, and then drop some of the hardest sanctions there. You could do this without bombs. It'll be cheaper. It'll be less expensive on America's position in the world. It's just not a wise decision. He made the wisest, most prudent decision this weekend. Diplomacy at this point, listen to what I'm saying. I'm a legal person. Every word matters. At this point, is what's best for America, the world, Iran, even if Iran doesn't realize, and it's best for Israel, even if Israel doesn't realize. Listen, I hear somebody say, I can't pronounce your name, said that President Trump is lying, that he's not in a peace deal with Iran. We're going to find out. I don't think he's lying. I think the Iranians are really afraid. I'm talking about, listen, the Israelis killed the supreme leader. We don't even know if the junior supreme leader, his son, we don't even know if he's alive. They saying he might not be alive. If I was the Iranians and he would have died too, maybe he died later to his wounds, I would still act like he's alive too. Who else would I not want to speak? Listen, we can have a real supreme leader and have the son that's really dead. We can have him act like he the supreme leader. He just scared of the Americans, so he won't come to the mic or show his face. So we gonna act like he a dead man is the supreme. How you gonna kill the new supreme leader if you think the new supreme leader is a dead man? And the real new supreme leader, you don't know, so he could be dead. It would be great strategy for the Iranians to say a dead man is their supreme leader right now, because the Israelis are killing all the leaders. Bibi Netanyahu, unrestrained. He doing what he want to do. President Trump got to rein them in. He just killing the leaders. You can't get to no peace deal. And it looks like the Iranians are going to say, look, I could play a bunch of content where the Iranians, the people President Trump talking to, are saying that President Trump aren't talking to. See what I'm saying? I could play that audio for you. And that's what the guy in the chat saying President Trump's lying. There's plenty of reasons President Trump has to gain for coming out and saying that. That would be very strategic to get things back to normal. But why would I want to kind of get things back to normal and not really get things back to normal? What I'm saying is, my argument is even if President Trump's lying, let's just say he's lying, who cares? It's what's best for the world. It's what's best for everybody. To end the conflict, it's best for everybody. I hope that lie leads him to more lies to where he could lie the American military back to America or to Cuba or whatever he's doing next. He could go on to the next mission. You got to spin the block on Iran. You got to come back to it. If you ain't finished it yet, you got to finish it at a later date, at another time, because right now ain't the time. If you come back to it too, you're going to outsmart them. You'll be wiser. You'll know what you up against. You know what I'm saying? If I had to go back in there in December, my first goal would be to secure the strait. I'd sneak attack them. I mean, it'd be the same thing, the military buildup, and like we'll be sitting down to do these fake talks again, round 5, that ain't gonna work, and we already know it. So the first thing I'll do is I'll go try to get that strait secured before I do anything else next time. That's the first move. While I'm bombing simultaneously, I'll be trying to secure that strait because that's the whole key to it. You see what I'm saying? But I'm saying, if I were President Trump, I want that deal. I wouldn't be trying to go back in December. All I'm saying is continuing today is a suicide mission. Your whole legacy, President Trump. I'm telling you, if nobody else told you this before, all that's going to happen, I'm going to be on the live stream saying, I told you so. Continuing that battle today is a suicide mission. Period. Somebody says Trump hasn't had any peace talks with anyone. I'm saying I don't believe that you can prove that, sir. You can't prove that. Listen, where was this at on CNN? I had somebody ask President Trump about this. Not President Trump. They asked a Democratic senator or a congressperson. Let me see if I can find the video. They asked a congressperson about this. Let me see if I can find it. I don't know if I could find it, guys, but yeah, they had no. Hold on. I think it's here. Y'all give me just a second. I'm gonna try to find this video for you. See if I guess right. So CNN had a Democratic senator come on, or a congressperson, and they were asking him about it. You see what I'm saying? Let me see. And they were trying to see if it was really authentic, just like someone's questioning whether President Trump actually, Iran denies, has been talking with U.S. officials. Let me play this right here. Let me see if this is it right here. So this CNN yesterday.
Time for military plans.
This CNN yesterday.
Such a strike would trigger, and that he's willing to try and find a diplomatic offer.
This just into us right now. Iran is now denying that they are in talks with Washington. This is just an hour after President Trump claimed the U.S. has had productive conversations with Tehran. According to Iranian state-affiliated media outlets, Iran accused Trump of trying to lower energy prices and buy time for military plans. Earlier this morning, Trump...
If that's what President Trump's doing, all I'm saying, he's about to pay some drastic consequences when he makes his next move. If what his plan is just like Iran saying, trying to lower gas prices and buy time for military plans, all I'm saying, the only way America could win today, he need more time than 5 days for military plans. Y'all listen to me. Common sense ain't that common. In that situation he in, go ask General Kane. Play this for General Kane. And go ask General Kane what he think about what Go's saying this morning. You need more than 5 days for military. You got to build a coalition of the willing. You need to go back to the drawing board. You need to go get England. You need to rebuild your relationships with NATO and get stronger before you go back in there. You need the world with you. Because going in there by yourself with America, I'm trying to tell you what's finna happen, boy.
said he was putting military strikes on Iran's power plants on hold for at least 5 days pending the outcome of these talks. That is what he put on Truth Social. Joining us now, Democratic Congressman Jake Auchincloss of Massachusetts. Thank you so much. Okay,
so this is Jake Auchincloss, Democratic Congressman of Massachusetts. So he has every reason. What's your name? His rib. He has every reason to say what you're saying, that President Trump's lying. He's really not finna get no kind of deal with Iran. He's not even talking to Iran. I think that's what his rib's saying. That's what the Iranians saying. So here's a Democratic congressman from Massachusetts who has every reason to agree with you and what the Iranians are saying publicly. Let's play what he got to say.
We just got this in that Iran is denying that they're having talks with the president's people. What do you make of all this? Because the president has backtracked on a deadline to what he called obliterate power plants in Iran if they didn't open the Strait of Hormuz.
Sarah, good morning. Thanks for having me on. The president has backtracked on almost all of the original strategic rationale that he dripped out to the American public after the war started. I'm sure there are back-channel conversations happening between Iran and the administration right now, but the reason...
That's all I want to hear him say. I understand he's a Democrat. See, that's why I listen to Democrats. I listen to the opposition. I listen to the other side. That's why I do it. I understand he's a Democrat. I understand he has an agenda with politics. I understand all that. I'm an independent. I'm listening and seeing without scales. So when I'm hearing the congressman say this, and then he says that I don't disagree that he's got diplomatic back channel conversations with Iran, I agree with that congressman's assessment. I can almost guarantee you he's talking to someone within Iran. It makes sense that if I was the Iranians and every single time that I try to make a deal with this dude, I ended up getting killed or struck. Or he started a war. You done killed our Ayatollah, possibly his son, destroyed our country. Why would I publicly say that I'm talking to Big Satan? Why would I say that publicly? When little Satan would kill me if he knew who I was. It's an impossible situation for the Iranians. That's why I'm saying, President Trump, first of all, you need to call BB and tell him to stop shooting, man. Just stop shooting. Stop real quick. Let me do something. Let me work this out and make this place safer for you. Because it could get safer without a gun. You done shot your guns. You done kicked them in the mouth, slapped them in the face. They get the point. They understand it. You done killed enough. You done did enough. Stop it real quick. Let me work. Let me do something. Let me try something real quick, BB. Hold up real quick. Let me do something. I really believe, I'm almost like 1,000% sure President Trump talking to somebody. I think he's seen what he's trying to wind it down. He kind of seen what it was. And, he understand that America has accomplished the military objectives and he don't want to end up like these other presidents who stayed there for way too long. That's what I believe. So I have no reason to believe that President Trump isn't really talking to the Iranians. Regardless of what the Iranians say, I have reason to believe, or I can see it's coming. It's easy to see why they wouldn't come out and publicly say that they're talking to him about a deal. Yeah, Jerry, I agree. Jerry said, what you think that he has just accomplished? They have no Air Force, Navy, or air defense. No, they don't. And Jerry, my feelings are not in the way. I don't see how y'all are looking at this like at all. I mean, I just don't see, like, I see in the comments, and, you know, I could understand the distrust in what President Trump's doing, or the motion, or what's going on. I could understand all that. But the fact of the matter is that gas is cheaper today. The stock market is rebounding. And America is closer to, maybe y'all saying not in the conflict, maybe we're going to find out. I'm just saying, to continue fighting, to me, like, the next moves that President Trump is about to make could be catastrophic for America. And that's what I'm saying. And I stand 10 on what I said before. Moving forward, him to continue to fight this war, I cannot support him in that, because I know what the consequences are. He look, for you to win all of the objectives militarily, and for you to have completely destroyed Iran, you were taking Putin's road. Something America doesn't usually do, attacking civilian infrastructure. You got to escalate to that point. Putin is not winning in Ukraine, and you about to do the same thing in Iran that he's doing. If you were really, really winning, you wouldn't have to attack their power plant. But you finna threaten to cut the lights, the money, the oil. I'm telling you, them people gonna hit. That's a terrorist organization. They gonna hit you hard. And that gas gonna skyrocket, that oil gonna skyrocket. I don't see no win for they have to have set out this chessboard for him. I don't see a win for America. The Gulf nations, they already halfway don't think you could defend and protect them. And then if Iran just indiscriminately starts shooting drones at them and rocket and missiles, you know what I'm saying? It ain't gonna be no good for nobody. That's what I'm saying. I've heard people say that the Americans came and the Israelis killed the part of the regime that was not as hardline, and they came and inserted the Ayatollah's son, who's more he's young and hardline. They really hate America, really hate Israel. I don't know, man. We'll have to see. Because they said that about Mohammed bin Salman in Saudi MBS, and, you know, he moved towards the left. That younger generation, you don't know, because they tapped in with the youth in Iran. You don't know how that's going to turn out. You can't say that. How can you prove that? We just going to have to see. Some of this stuff we going to have to see. That I ain't going to speak on something I don't know how it's going to turn out. You don't know what God will do. You might have a younger leader in Iran, and they just might see that, hey, we're not going to be able to build no nuclear. Well, they're going to keep on messing with it. So let's just try something. Let's just try to fool them. Fake the funk till Trump gone, get a Democrat. Well, that's the smartest thing for the Iranians to do. Why wouldn't they fake the funk? They're going to get into the funk faking. If they not really trying not to have a nuclear weapon, they're going to get into the funk faking because it benefits them. That's what I'm trying to tell you. You just got to be patient, and you got to play the game correctly. This isn't checkers. You're not trying to take all their pieces off the board just going wild. You're going to get yourself in a cross drum. They're going to flip the tables on you. This is chess. Play the long game, not the short game. You ain't in this for no clout. You ain't in this for no glory. You ain't in this to try to show American dominance. You already did that. You admitted that. Everything you destroyed it so easily you get bored. America's like the kid that's so smart, they make A++, and you smarter and faster than the other kids. Now they sitting around in class with nothing to do because they done completed the assignments and excelled the test. And now he finna get into some mischief. When you pass the test, you get up out the class and you walk out, man. You completed the mission. Don't try to create some other mission or all of that, I'm telling you, is all errors. You cannot pick their leader. We done tried all of this and it's going to be worse. And you're going to send them Marines in there just like Putin. And you don't even see it. Don't let the devil slow walk you into something. America with President Trump and them went in there with good intentions. You had good intentions, but I'm saying, like, don't let them slow walk you into that. You see what I'm saying? If you guys haven't liked the video, y'all go ahead for me and double tap the screen, like the video, subscribe to the channel, man. Make sure y'all hit that notification bell, man. You know what I'm saying? Big ghostwriter, baby. Man, listen, I'm saying, like, guys, I'm not sure. I know we're going to start the We the People tour soon, you know what I'm saying? But probably, man, you know, for a little bit, we probably mainly stream on Tuesdays, Thursdays, maybe Saturdays, you know what I'm saying? We probably ain't going to be streaming 5 days a week, you know? We'll probably be streaming about 3 days a week mostly. Already, you know what I'm saying? We'll probably do the 3 hours that we usually stream, but we'll be streaming 3 days a week mostly, man. You know what I'm saying? Moving forward. You know what I'm saying? Just coming in here, man, delivering the content, man. You know what I'm saying? Talking to the people, man, saying what's good, what's best for America. And how I see it. You know, that's just how I see it, man. I think that's what's best for America. You know? No Republican slants, no Democratic slants, just the slant, the best slant for the United States right now. That's the best thing that we could do. Somebody said Jeffrey Epstein Jew. Y'all saying Jeffrey Epstein was a Jew? Who in this live stream right now, y'all? Y'all go look that up. Somebody go look real quick if Jeffrey Epstein was a Jew. I don't know why that matters. If he was a Jew, what race he was, he's just a disgusting child molester, man. That's how I look at it, bro. You know what I'm saying? Just a disgusting child molester. So, guys, if y'all hadn't liked the video, man, like I said, y'all double tap the screen. Guys, if y'all want to subscribe to the channel, man, y'all hit that button with the notification. But hit the button and with the $sign in it, man. You know what I'm saying, guys? Like channel memberships are $2.99. Got a whole lot of brand new content. You know what I'm saying? Members only content. Some new live streams. Got a whole bunch of shorts. You know what I'm saying? Gonna be recording some members only. You know what I'm saying? Gonna be recording some members only videos soon as well. You know what I'm saying? So you guys, $2.99. Y'all just hit that button with the $sign in it. And your donations are much appreciated, guys. So guys, pretty much right now, like what we finna do is we just gonna take a second and you know, I'll be right back. If any, like I said, you guys want to donate to the channel, you can. You know what I'm saying? We only been streaming for about 2 hours, so we got a little bit more time. I got a little bit more time to spend. Which big ghostwriter, man? Y'all get active in the comments, man. What we talking about? The chat is yours, man. Whatever you guys want to talk about, we could discuss. Big ghostwriter, baby. Big ghostwriter, man. You know what I'm saying, man? Like, I'm just out here chilling, man, or out here. I should say I'm just up here chilling, man, in the Hudson Valley. Been up here for a baby minute. You know what I'm saying? A little baby minute, man. You know what I'm saying? I ain't doing too much. You know? Like, if I spend a second or two with you guys and I'll talk about my cases. You know, pretty much, man, I got a few cases that I got filed. You know, if you guys know, I'm a document preparer. Rate Legal LLC is the company, man. I got a few cases that I got going on right now, man. I'm real proud to say, man, yesterday I filed it's about 780,000 to be precise. It's a $800,000 case, man. Yeah, boy. You know what I'm saying? Ghostwriter. That's why they call me Ghostwriter. I showed them yesterday. Saying I showed them why they call me Ghostwriter, man. You know what I'm saying? I go for a client, a $800,000 case, man. You know what I'm saying, man? Like for me and my business, man, that's huge, bro. That's everything that I wanted to be. That's everything that I wanted to do with my business, you know? So basically how the model goes is I'm a paralegal. I'm a document preparer. I'm not an attorney. But yet and still, how the model goes is how I did it or how I do this. You know what I'm saying? So what I do is a client's got a case and the client comes to me. I prepare the complaint, the initial legal document. I prepare the complaint and I file it in court. You know what I'm saying? Probably took me 8 to 10 hours to do the entire document. Once I file the document in court, basically the client secures an attorney. You know what I'm saying? They get the paperwork worked out and I charge a fee, a one-time flat fee, $40,000. One document. I think it was like 8 pages. I had to do another document and a certificate of service. So 10 pages total. $700,000 case. The attorney the client put it in court. You know what I'm saying? The plaintiff connect with an attorney. And just like that, the attorney fighting for $780,000. I got a $40,000 payout. I ain't got to do nothing else on the case. That's my business, man. The Rate Legal LLC. You know what I'm saying? I got another case too, a wrongful death case that I talked to a client that I'm personally close to. That, you know what I'm saying, I'm going to turn my focus on that case, see what's going on with that. You know what I'm saying? That's going to be a multi-million-dollar case, bro. Multi-million. In which your boy Ghostwriter, once again, you know what I'm saying, going to write that case. And the payout on that case is actually going to be over 60 racks, 60,000. Yeah, boy, over 60,000, man. That's what a Rate Legal LLC, man. That's what, you know what I'm saying, I meant to do, trying to do. You know what I'm saying? In the meantime, I'm learning stuff. You know what I'm saying? I'm getting better at litigating, getting better at filing legal documents. You know what I'm saying? And you know, being a paralegal that, you know what I'm saying, filed in 12 different states across America, have the ability to do that while I'm on the road filing lawsuits all over America. You know what I'm saying? That's something that I seen being a paralegal, to where, you know, I dropped a case for a customer in Mississippi. I'm going to drop a case for a customer in Texas. And once the attorney take over that Texas case, that attorney's in Texas. Or that attorney's in Mississippi in the Mississippi case. But I'm saying the cases that I gotta litigate myself, where I'm the attorney, you know what I'm saying? I'm finding out that it costs money to be able to litigate across the country, because the court at some point during the depositions they're gonna require you to be present. You know what I'm saying? So doing all that moving around, that's something I wasn't expecting, something I got to adjust to, man, because up here in New York, man, I got 2, 3, about 4 cases. Not in New York, but in New England area, I got 4 cases. I only got 1 down south, and I got some stuff going on in the case in federal court down south. So I'm going to try to get down there. I need to get down there, you know what I'm saying, see what's going on. You know what I'm saying? What's up, Black? Black Lives Matter. What's up, baby? Tissues for MAGA. Good morning. Good morning. As you guys come in, y'all double tap the screen for your boy. Subscribe to the channel. Make sure y'all hit that notification bell. Listen, y'all jump down in the comments, man. Anything you guys want to talk about, man, the chat belongs to y'all. You know what I'm saying? We can have any kind of discussion. I'm just sitting here talking about my business, man, the Miller Ray Legal, how I'm excited, so excited, man. Yesterday, guys, you don't know, I went 14 months without filing the case. I think I filed I think it was, I don't remember what case number it was, but you know what I'm saying? I started filing again after that 14-month period, I think in August. You see what I'm saying? So since August, you know what I'm saying, getting the business back pumping. Yesterday, bro, I worked on 3 cases in one day. Filed that $800,000 case. You know what I'm saying? I responded to someone who replied, a city municipality, their attorneys replied to a complaint. You know what I'm saying, yesterday. So I filed into that case. I responded. You know what I'm saying? I responded to their answer. And then the third case that I worked on was, you know what I'm saying, I had a conference in a federal case in Mississippi. 3 cases yesterday, man. In one day, it's been a long time since a Miller Ray Legal been pumping out word like that, man. So that's what Big Ghostwriter doing, man, with my time. You know what I'm saying? I just come on the live stream, man, and just kick it on the live stream, bro. I enjoy doing it. You know what I'm saying? I enjoy like sharing my thoughts in ways that I believe that'll help our country. You know what I'm saying? Sharing my thoughts in ways that I believe that'll help America. And that's what I do. And I enjoy doing that, man. So coming on the live stream doing that, but the real motion is a Miller Ray Legal LLC. You see what I'm saying? So I just want to put that out there, man. We've been streaming for over 2 hours, man. Y'all know how we get down, man. You know what I'm saying? Oh, nothing. Ahmad, what's up, baby? How's it going, man? How y'all doing this morning, man? You know what I'm saying? What you guys got going on? What you guys got on your mind? Anything you guys, like I said, anything you guys want to discuss it, we could discuss it this morning. We could talk about anything you guys want to talk about. You know what I'm saying? Man, I just really, man, I just kind of been chilling, man. Just the same old, same old. You know what I'm saying? Not really just doing too much, just like living, man. You know what I'm saying? Like, I told y'all I'm out here in New York, so I'm from Mississippi, so I've been doing a lot more traveling, especially lately, than I've done, you know what I'm saying, in a long time. But, you know, my goal is always going to be those legal documents in those cases. That's where my focus is. That's where my work is, man. That's where my hustle is. That's where my grind is. That's where my heart is. You know what I'm saying? On those documents and on those cases. So, you know, I pretty much, man, I try to stay focused on that. Like primarily, like just stay focused on them cases, man. And that's all I do, really, just file cases. So yeah, man. Try to see if any that was a whole lot a little earlier. Titan Bruce says the very first mistake. Man, I don't know about that, Titan. I don't know what that mean. Going off, man. Good, you know what I'm saying? Like with content instead of comments, the most President Trump is so stupid enough to go. I hear you, man. Going down exactly the way they were. That is true. I agree with that. What do you think was just accomplished? Oh, okay. Seen that. We went over that. Understanding the 3 branches of government, Ahmad, I think that's very important. And I think that a lot of people don't understand the 3 branches of government. A lot of people, in my opinion, you know what I'm saying, don't understand the way that government works at all. You know, people look at the noise and the power and stuff like that. That's what they look at. They're looking at looking at it like this. So let me see. They see the president. They understand the president. They understand the president got the power. On the world stage, it's President Trump making the decisions, calling the shots. In America, being as powerful as he is, a leader in the world, then it looks to America, to Americans, to the other people in the world, it looks like President Trump, he kind of like Pooh. He kind of like, he a big dog. He the big dog on the stage. That's how it looks. But the way our government is set up, our government is, listen, the founding forefathers, when they set up our government, they were fleeing persecution in England. They complained about taxes. They complained about corruption. So when they set up our government, understanding that we probably going to have a problem with corruption. That's why America's system is so good and it works as well as it does. And it has survived as well as it has. And so you understand that and that concept, then you'll get the three branches of government. Each branch of the government is a check on the other one. Congress is supposed to check the president. President is supposed to check Congress. Supreme Court check both of them. Supreme Court check Congress. Supreme Court, a lot of times they have the last say or the final say, but I'm saying a party could get power. Say if the Democrats run the table and they have 5 seats in the House and they up a seat in the Senate. And then in 2028, they expand the league, get up 10 seats in the House, say they get up 5 seats in the Senate, and they get a Democratic president. See what I'm saying? Then I'm saying they could enact policies that they could overturn. Listen, Roe v. Wade in the court, the Democrats, when they get power again, they're going to legalize abortion. The first opportunity they can get. They're going to legalize abortion. See what I'm saying? So Congress, they kind of could check the Supreme Court because the way they'll do it is they'll just go back around and they'll repass another law. But, you can't do that without the numbers. It's politics. It's complicated. It's understanding 3 branches of government, though. Like, I just operate in the judicial branch. And within America, in American politics, the judicial branch is the branch that, you see what I'm saying, interprets the law, the interpretation. Congress, they write it. The president, he executes it. And the court interprets it. 3 branches of government is very important. Oh, you're saying the power shifts to where? Which branch? Listen, so in foreign issues, President Trump is almost supreme. It's very hard. Courts, there's not, you can't really say our courts have jurisdiction over international law. So within foreign politics, President Trump, he's very powerful. Within domestic politics, I would say that unless you have the numbers, you have the House of Representatives, the Senate, and the White House, then you can overcome any interpretations by the court. But if you don't have the numbers, then in domestic politics, court usually they have the final say because they're the body of government that interprets the law. They interpret it. They rule on the law. They say that this law means this law means this is constitutional, this is unconstitutional. That's what the court does. You know what I'm saying? 3 branches. Yeah, Senate power could definitely shift based on any party. I see that it's a very good chance that the Democrats could get control of the Senate. I thought if President Trump I didn't know which way he was going to turn. But I for sure thought that there was a chance that he was going to turn towards war. And I for sure knew that if he turned, not war, but, you know what I'm saying, boots on the ground, which was going to just slowly escalate. And that slow escalation was going to lead to the Republicans' complete downfall. They could still lose the House of Representatives and hold the Senate. You know what I'm saying? Because a lot of scholars and strategists will argue that compared to 2018, the last midterms, President Trump first term, the Republicans and President Trump have made more mistakes than that time. And during that time, they lost 41 seats. So it would be safe to reason, like, why wouldn't you lose at least 41 seats or more this time? You know what I'm saying, Ahmad? So definitely appreciate those comments, because that's a good way to look at it. To me, that all ties back into why, you know what I'm saying, you want to end this war. Why it's beneficial for the United States to end this war. Most definitely. If you guys have not liked the video, y'all could double tap the screen for your boy Ghost Rider. Subscribe to the channel, man. Make sure you guys hit that notification bell. Also, guys, if y'all want to donate to the channel memberships start at $2.99. All you guys got to do is hit that button with that $ in it, and your donations are much appreciated. What's going on, Ahmad? Where are you from, man? What's going on out there? Where are you from? You know what I'm saying? I'm up here, like I said, in Hudson Valley, New York. Man, it's 30 degrees outside. It's March. You know what I'm saying? I'm from South Mississippi. In South Mississippi, it definitely probably at least 70 degrees right now. You know what I'm saying? But it's 30 degrees out here. You know what I'm saying? We waiting to start the We the People tour. Pray to God we could start it sooner than later. Real talk. You know what I'm saying? Keep litigating these cases, man. Definitely that YouTube content, man. I owe some videos. I owe some publishing. I owe some promotion, man. So I'm going to try to get to that ASAP, man. You know what I'm saying? Try to keep growing the channel, man. Keep dropping truth, you know, and knowledge to the people, man. You know what I'm saying? Keep dropping truth and knowledge to the people, man. That's my goals, man. That's what I'm trying to do. You feel that? Oh, Ahmad said, Harlem, what's up, Harlem, baby? He said it's so judicial. So it's judicial, Senate, and chief that that is so you got the judicial branch, that's correct. That's all the courts, you know what I'm saying? Branch of government, you got them on every level, federal level, state level, and local level, you know, your county or whatever. Then you have your municipalities too. Then you have the Congress. You know what I'm saying? Of course, state level, again, you have an assembly in the municipality, every level. But on the federal level, within Congress, you have a House of Representatives, and you have, those are U.S. representatives, House of Representatives. You have the Senate. You know what I'm saying? Every state gets amount of representatives depending on their population. So every state got different numbers of representatives. But within the Senate, every Senate gets 2 senators, regardless of how powerful or big your state is. So that's why senators are so powerful. And then, of course, on the executive branch, you have the president, President Trump. You know what I'm saying? So those are the 3 branches of government. You have Congress, you have the judicial branches or courts, you have the executive branch or the president. 3 branches of government. Somebody said Harlem. I want to shout out Harlem. Harlem, baby, 125th Street, all the way through there. You know what I'm saying? Harlem is a city of excellence, man. You know what I'm saying? Real talk, man. Harlem on Manhattan, man. There ain't no other place to represent America to me than Harlem. You know what I'm saying? Much love to Harlem. Had to come through, you know what I'm saying, show love, you know? So that's for sure. Man, I see H Violet out there, see y'all timing people out and quieting them out, man. I had scrolled through them comments, and I was like, golly, bro, they was in here getting on me, boy. They was taking shots and trying to take shots. You know what I'm saying? Look like bots and AI, some of it. You know what I'm saying? I don't be worried about too much, man. You know what I'm saying? I'm a legal dude, man. I had talked to somebody yesterday, and they was talking about, I forgot what we was talking about, but they were saying a certain situation, like looking at the situation like it's bad, but you know what I'm saying? It might be bad to some, but like, you know what I'm saying? I done dealt with trauma and drama and negativity. I done dealt with it so frequently to where it's like it's almost second nature to me, man. Real talk. Expert level. That's why I ended up starting file legal documents, and I done got good at that, man, for real. You know what I'm saying? That's on everything, man. But like, I just come up in here, man, to share knowledge and wisdom. I don't try to do no hate, much hate whatsoever. I just gotta litigate my cases. I feel like that's the mission that God gave me. You know what I'm saying? I want to read a scripture. I was trying to tell my mama the scripture yesterday. But this is what I want to tell y'all. I feel like this is my mission in life, to do justice. Isaiah 117, that's what we're looking for. Can we get a King James version? King James Bible version of Isaiah 117, King James version. So I always go with the King James. Isaiah 117 says, learn to do well. Seek judgment. Relieve the oppressed. Judge the fatherless. And plead for the widow. That's Isaiah 117. And man, it's like I live by this scripture, man, with my filing them legal documents, man. You know what I'm saying? Like, real talk. This scripture I'm finna post in the live stream, I believe this with my whole heart, man. You know what I'm saying? Y'all keep saying Iran is not negotiating with Trump. Yes, they are. I done went over that with y'all. Y'all keep saying that. It's like, listen, it's people who y'all wish bad, or y'all wish you want to pay $6 gas just so you could say that President Trump he don't win. There's some Americans who don't want gas to be $6. The same Americans that they say are suffering, instead of helping them Americans or seeing those Americans get some help, because I don't care who helped the people. It could be a Republican, a Democrat, it could be Trump, Obama. I don't care who helped the people. Just come help them. That's all I'm saying. But some people, they would rather see gas stay at $6 a gallon just so President Trump don't end that conflict. They looked at President Trump going into that conflict as a move by a buffoon. What I'm saying is President Trump, he was already aware that he couldn't stay. He wouldn't have no plans of staying in there and put boots on the ground. But I'm saying if he get out right now, the reason y'all saying he's not negotiating with Iran, because if President Trump gets out right now, what I'm trying to say is then he wins. Because he went further than President Obama. He slapped him and then made a deal with him. And if he gets a better deal, then he wins. But regardless, who wants people to keep the bloods to keep being shed? I don't think President Obama cares if President Trump won. He don't care. I don't think he cares. You know what I'm saying? President Trump was saying it was a bad deal. President Obama, he was just, he avoided this war. Because if not, I believe President Obama would have smacked him. He would have did just what President Trump did with the bombs. turn it into a parking lot today and it's over. No, it's not. They didn't. What all they didn't turn to a parking lot? They didn't turn the country almost to a parking lot. Look at, what you talking about? President Trump is following Putin's strategy in Ukraine. Okay? I believe that, if I'm not mistaken, there's more people in Iran than Ukraine. If I'm not mistaken, Iran might be bigger than Ukraine. Let's look it up. Let me get the facts right. Let's get the facts right. How many people in Iran? I mean Ukraine. I know how many people in Iran. How many people in Ukraine? How many people in Ukraine? There ain't no mountains. Like, you moving that military, you don't understand. You moving that military. Ukraine has, 41 million people. Iran is much than Ukraine. You don't understand that military. You got to move that military through mountains. And while you moving that military through mountains, boots on the ground, they flying drones. Jacob said, 4 tours, thank you for your service. Jacob said he supports Trump still. I'm saying, listen, it ain't about supporting to me. It's about, I don't look at it like that. Either I like the politician or I don't. So I'm fond of President Trump. But I'm saying, to me, it ain't about whether you support him or not. It's about what's the best move for America. I'm about strategy. The best move for him, for America, for Iran, and for Israel, is to get a deal. How could it not be? The Iranians, listen, last time the Iranians shot rockets or missiles into Israel, the Iranians, Hezbollah, when the last time? It's the best thing for Israel. Because when the war stopped, last time Iran attacked Israel. Yesterday, Iran strikes Israel. Yesterday.
Camping is such an adventure.
Hey, this is what you got them flatlined. This is what you completely destroying them.
Hello, I'm Lucy Gray. It's day 23 of the US-Israel war with Iran, and over the next 10 or so minutes, we're bringing you our special program. Let's start with some of the day's main developments. Israel's Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu calls on world leaders to join the war during a visit to an Israeli town struck by an Iranian missile. Israel's military claims that Iran's long-range missiles pose a threat to Europe. President Trump threatens to obliterate Iran's energy sites if Tehran doesn't fully reopen the Strait of Hormuz.
I'm saying, Iran just they hit them every day. You see what I'm saying? So, somebody said, imagine being MAGA at this point. Loser PDF protectors. I don't know what that means. You know what I'm saying? What's a PDF protector? I don't know what a PDF protector. This is what a PDF protector is right here. In my mind. As a legal documents prepared, this is a PDF protector right here. This is my PDF protector right here. I don't know what a PDF protector is. Somebody said, he's saying, imagine Devin. I understand imagine being MAGA at this point. You know what I'm saying? I don't know what the PDF protector means, though. Hi, Canada attack on the firefighters at LaGuardia. What in the world are you talking about? We don't need to go down that road. That's why our allies won't come help us in this conflict right now. We need to get back on. We need to rebuild those alliances. I think President Trump realizes the importance of those alliances right now. Canada, you said Canada's what? I'm going to put Canada, LaGuardia. So yeah, I read. I saw that was a Canadian plane that crashed at LaGuardia. I guess you want to jump into some conspiracy theories stuff. I don't participate in conspiracy theories. This is a Air Canada plane that crashed at LaGuardia. I don't know what that means. I don't see anything about no firefighters or none of that. Jacob, thank you for your service. Putin is losing in Ukraine. He lost over 1 million people. And that's what would have happened if America went to Iran. Maybe not as bad as in Ukraine, but I don't see how not. Iran is over twice the size. They have the money and the weapons, the means and the whereabouts. They terrorist organization. All they need, bro, you got about 15 different. President Trump, even if the Iranian Revolutionary Guard is split up, they can't communicate and organize. Lone wolves, you got about 12 to 15 different Hezbollah type. And you saying a lone wolf, that lone wolf, he got 20, 30, you know what I'm saying, of his soldier buddies. They all just gonna get together and just strike you. They got access to the weapons, keys to the weapons. They gonna find a way to strike back. Ghostface. Yeah, it's 3 times larger. You said protecting pedophiles. I said, who protected pedophiles, man? Y'all be saying some stuff on here, don't y'all, man? Who protecting pedophiles? Man, it seemed like that sun shining so bright, man. We could get out there, man. Like, I'm gonna pull up for a second, man, and like I said, man, we've been streaming for about 2.5 hours right now. You know what I'm saying? So y'all know how this go down too. Oh, you saying protecting pedophiles? Like, so they calling President Trump a pedophile. If I was President Trump, I would sue you for saying that. Because I'm not protecting nothing. If I'm protecting him, then where your evidence he a pedophile at? Since I'm protecting him, where your evidence? I know you want to paint the picture of him being a pedophile. He might be. I ain't saying he ain't. I don't know. Did I hang with him his whole life? No. Did you? No. So you don't know either, just like I don't know. He's a man been accused of something. Where your proof at? That could fly in court. That's all I'm saying. Where the proof at that he's a pedophile? That's why he's still president. You think if we could prove we had a tape of him, President Trump, that wasn't AI having sex with a child, you think he'll still be president? He might not even still be breathing. That's what I'm saying. So it ain't no way in the world I'm protecting a pedophile. You calling him that. If I was him, I would sue you. It's been over, 40 years. And as much as he's been accused, he shouldn't have been cool with Jeffrey Epstein. But you don't know what he was doing on Epstein Island. If you do, show me the proof of what he was doing. Show me the proof of what he was doing. I'm not protecting nobody. I'm just saying from all analyzing the facts, the evidence ain't there. From my expert legal opinion, the evidence ain't there to say the man did anything besides being associated with a child molester, which a whole lot of, bro, you can't, y'all. So President Trump, I mean, you want to protect President Clinton, though. You want President Clinton to go to jail, and all the other people. You want Bill Gates to go to jail. You want everybody to go to jail. It's a lot of men on the Epstein list. Yeah, he in that foul 1 million times. He is. What's that mean? You still ain't said nothing to say he a pedophile. If you call a man a pedophile, show me how he a pedophile. Oh, he got accused of it. Oh, he hung with pedophiles. Oh, I seen him with a 14-year-old. I'm saying you ain't said nothing that tell me he was a pedophile. We know Jeffrey was a pedophile. Jeffrey convicted sex offender. We know Jeffrey not only had sex with children, he held them hostage repeatedly. He was a sexual deviant. He was a dirty, disgusting human being. The pedophile is dead. Show me your proof on President Trump. That's all I'm saying. You ain't got no proof on President Trump that President Trump did nothing like that. It's just all accusations. And if I was him, every time somebody accused me, I would sue him. You don't listen. You don't know if he did it. We could listen. You could draw from conclusions. We could draw from what kind of evidence we call that whenever it's speculative, whenever the evidence isn't solid. So we could draw from the conclusion that, okay, President Trump, we know he kind of messed with female, like, you know what I'm saying? So we just conclude that he must have did something on Epstein Island. I understand you drawing that from the conclusion, but this is what I'm saying. Prove that he did it. We ain't talking about what your analysis is. You drawing from an analysis where you could be dead wrong. Prove that he did anything you saying he doing. That's all I'm saying. Prove it. Prove that it ain't just some people coming forward after it can't be proven. So why I'm going to keep chasing the same rabbit? That ain't going to give me nothing when I catch him. I got a family of 4 and I'm running around here chasing a rabbit, one rabbit. I'm saying you're going to spend all your energy chasing that rabbit, and when you catch the rabbit, if you catch the rabbit, it ain't going to fill you up. I'm not finna be chasing no rabbits. I'm going to let the rabbit chasers chase the rabbit. So if they chase the rabbit and they expose something, we're going to speak on it after it's exposed. Until then, it'll just be a rabbit. Just like you said, he colluded with Russia. That was a rabbit. And so you invested the whole Democratic Party into trying to get President Trump. You didn't get him, and you went bankrupt. And he president again. And that almost destroyed you. And you still around here chasing the rabbits when he giving you everything you need. The stock market, he get the price of oil, fighting wars he shouldn't, the controversy with ICE. You got enough political issues to get the voters to care about. But you over here chasing rabbits, talking about something the voters do not care about. The voters don't care about Jeffrey Epstein. They done drew their own conclusion. You got some people who going to think that, yeah, he is guilty and yeah, he did something. And you're going to have the other half of the people who going to think that, no, he ain't guilty and no, he didn't do nothing. I'm saying, what can you do about it, bro? It's like almost an impossible mission. Like you chasing a rabbit that you will never be able to catch. You chasing a uncatchable rabbit. You cannot prove that man did anything wrong. If I look at President Trump as a human being, see, I'm real. I'm not fake. I'm not trying to get down with no Democrats, even though a lot of times my opinion be over there with them. But I'm not trying to get down with no, I'm going to just keep it 1,000. If I look at a man like President Trump, what kind of dude he is? He cool with 50 Cent. He cool with Mike Tyson. He cool with P. Diddy. He cool with Don King. He cool with scores of black New Yorkers. He got more black votes than any Republican president in decades, if not ever. You see what I'm saying? So President Trump as a man, you go in the hood. I done seen who that Tommy G, he done went in so many hoods and asked black people about President Trump. Some people don't mess with him. And a lot of black people said they mess with him. He freed a lot of black rappers out of jail. He probably gonna pardon P. Diddy. So listen, if you say President Trump, so we're gonna look at President Trump as a black man, I think he a cool dude. I really do. I think he funny. He always cracking jokes. You see what I'm saying? I think he cool though. I really do. That's just the person he is. I have a friend like Donald J in the clique. Man, we gonna go get up with Donald, boy. You feel me? You know Donald got the money. You know, Donald got some shiny car. I had homeboys like Donald on everything. I call you right now, my boy MJ. I ain't gonna, Matt, I ain't trying to call you Donald Trump. I had a homeboy at 17 years old, a white boy. That boy had $100,000 when the Cadillac Escalade, the EXT, when it first came out, the first year it came out, $100,000 truck. 17-year-old, my homeboy had that truck. That's on my mama. I had homeboys like that, flashy truck. Everybody hated on, talked about. Some people liked them, rich dude. You know what I'm saying? I do. Brian gonna lie. If I was in New York and in that crowd, would have been cool with Donald, just like you probably would in that crowd. Just like you might would have been cool with Jeffrey. Look at all the people on Jeffrey's list. He was cool with all the people, all the billionaires. He was cool with them. You might have 1-2 billionaires in the whole world that didn't rub shoulders with Jeffrey in some kind of way, even if they were doing business with him. You just don't understand it. That's facts. I'm not making no excuses for Donald Trump because I'm real, even though I like him as a person. I'm sorry. My best friend in prison right now, boy. The dude I call my best friend for the majority of my 20s, he in prison right now. White boy in jail right now. The white boys I ran with, they in prison. I mean, it wasn't for messing with no girls, and it definitely wasn't for messing with children. But I'm telling you that point to like where I like him. If I had one of my homeboys where they were saying that he was messing with children, I'm saying you can't. I'm not the type that's gonna go with y'all little rumors. That's why I'm an outcast. They be coming at me. They be lying on me. It's easy to get that. That's the quickest way to get a crash dummy to not like you is by saying that he messed with children. And listen. I want y'all to see me, man. You know what I'm saying? See my face, man. The Democrats tried to get President Trump in 1,000 ways, facts or fiction. The Russian hoax, the Eugene Carroll, the lawsuits, civil lawsuits, they try to bury him. Okay? You couldn't bury him. He become president again. All that stuff y'all talking about with Jeffrey Epstein, I told y'all. Let me look this up because I want y'all to have it. I want y'all to see this. So it's a 14-year-old, because I went through the same thing you went through. I had a moment through the Epstein. Look, 14-year-old, or let me just Trump sued by minor. Let's see. How many times he was sued by a minor? We ain't gonna look up. Hold up. So this what I'm finna give y'all is from Courthouse News Source, and it's from Tuesday, March 24, 2026. A woman who says Donald Trump raped her at a private sex party when she was 13 years old refiled a lawsuit against him Friday, 2 weeks after voluntarily dismissing the suit based on the same claim. So, okay, here you go. There we go. A 13-year-old, President Trump raped her for 13-year-old. All these allegations. I'm saying, if this man raping 13-year-olds, why the 13-year-olds ain't telling on him? Oh, because they scared of them. They rich and powerful. Plus, they're 13. Okay, so 13. Why they ain't tell on them when they were 18 years old or 21 years old or 25 years old? So you going to bring up this stuff. Listen to me. Let's be real now. September 30th, 2016. When was the election? Hey, listen to me. When was the election? The election was in November of 2016, if I'm not mistaken. So you telling me a 13-year-old, hold up, when did he rape her? When did he rape her? In the 90s. And this 2016. So you talking about this 25 years later. So when she was 13, that means she's 38 right now. She didn't come forward when she was 18. She didn't come forward when she was 23. She didn't come forward when she was 28. She didn't come forward when she was 33. She waited till she was 38 years old, right before an election, and said, oh, he raped me. I just remember he raped me at 13, 2 months before an election. I just remembered it. I just remembered 2 months before he came president that he raped me. It wasn't important until he was about to be president that I'm telling you when I was 13, he raped me. A new complaint filed in the federal court in Manhattan restates plaintiff Jane Doe's claims in the earlier lawsuit, namely that she was lured by recruiters to summer parties hosted by co-defendant Jeffrey Epstein at an Upper East Side mansion. Man, y'all making New York look bad. That's right down the street on East 71st, tied to a bed and forcibly raped by Trump, who slapped her with an open hand and told her he would do whatever he pleased to her. She's 13 years old. This is her story. Representatives of Trump and his campaign would not immediately campaign Trump and his campaign. You know what happened to that lawsuit? Your argument is maybe he did do something with a child and we just can't prove it now. Maybe he did. What you gonna do about that? Maybe Bill Clinton did something with a child and we can't prove it right now. What can you do about it? That's just like President Trump in the Strait of Hormuz. You got all the power, but it's nothing but L's to move forward. It's just wisdom. Some people got wisdom God gave them and some people don't. The people of the United States, if you were not aware about him being actually sued, because what somebody get on the phone and say and make a report, anybody can make a report. I got 4 people that I'm finna sue for making false reports to the police about me. Anybody could get on the phone and make a false report to the police about you. Or not the police, wherever they calling in to make these reports. Anybody could do it. And they have the motivation, his political rivals and enemy, because he's running for president. So when this girl is raped, 13 years, no one's gonna, it's hard to buy that story. She didn't have no credible evidence to court through it out. I'm saying, even if I don't like President Trump, it's going to be hard for me to say that he's guilty of something that you don't have no proof or evidence of. Pam says they found she lied. That's what I'm saying. Why wouldn't she? Why wouldn't she? Because it's going to be hard pressed that you tell me, you come to me and tell my homeboy raped you 25 years ago, and you just now saying something about it right now while he's running for president. Hey, my homeboy raped you 25 years ago. You ain't said nothing about it in 25 years, but all of a sudden you want to bring it up and talk about it right now, 25 years later, while he's running for president. I'm a legal dude, we gonna throw that trash in the garbage where it belongs. Y'all go around spreading rumors about people and living off of rumors. Listen, if I was in a paramilitary organization and that was my goal to go around and spread propaganda, it's so easy because I could go around and tell the people in your community anything, even your police officers, and they'll believe it. Because people are generally stupid. They're generally gullible. They're generally peons, which means that they stand for nothing and they fall for anything. And that's human behavior. They're generally sheep, generally. So I could go tell him anything. Yeah, President Trump was wrong for hanging with Jeffrey. President Trump, he probably, I wouldn't say he didn't sleep with some 21-year-olds or maybe a 19-year-old. But I'm saying for you to say the man slept with some children, I need proof for that. For me to speculate and assume that he 50 sleeping with a 21-year-old, I mean, how old married to a woman 20 years younger than him? So me saying he slept with a much younger legal age girl, I'm not going to dispute that whatsoever. And if I believe it's no way, me being 50, I could look at these women. You could see these women. You know who 13 and you know who 35. So it ain't no way he gonna look at a 13-year-old and think she old enough, in my opinion, to have sex with you. Know she 13. That girl accused him of that. And she lost. So what you gonna believe? Her? I'm gonna believe a woman that waited 25 years to when I was finna run for political office to come forward and said I did something with her like that. Well, they accused me of that. A girl said that I had sex with her for my homeboy, the one started it. I'm saying I don't know how he wasn't even there. And I'm saying this girl right here, you saying that I had sex with her when she was 14 and I was like 19. For real? So I'm saying, why she just, this 2000, you talking about something that happened in 1999? This 2025, I think I heard this in 24 or 23. You waiting 22 years later to bring something up that really is probably a lie. I ain't gonna tell you some of the stuff I did in my past. I don't remember everything. You know what I'm saying? I'm 19 years old, 20 years old. It's some females I remember some situations. But I'm saying if I'm doing something wrong, why don't you get me in trouble right then and there when I'm doing it wrong? You just gonna hold, you like the CIA and just gonna use it to blackmail me. You gonna get information on me that I'm sleeping with a child to use it to blackmail me for the rest of my life. You a dirty, grimy type dude. What about the child that I slept with? Why don't you see, I don't play games like that. I catch you sleeping with a child, I'm gonna sick them dogs on you. Yeah. If you in the wrong place at the wrong time, where they don't call the police, you know what your end gonna be. But if you in a place like around here where they call the police, yeah, you gonna get what you can't see. I can't know that you had sex with a 12-year-old. I'm not gonna let you get away with that, to hold that over your head. What? That's craziness. That show you demonic. You manipulative and demonic. I ain't talking about the CIA. That's their job. They into that spy stuff, whatever they got going on. That's their thing. That's something different. I'm talking about a regular dude around our communities. Like me and you. You ain't no CIA or no cop. You might be ex-military, but you ain't nothing official right now. You might be a preacher, pastor, whatever, but you ain't nothing official right now. I'm talking about you. How you gonna know a dude has sex with a 12-year-old or a 14-year-old? And I ain't gonna get him in trouble, and I ain't even gonna say nothing. I'm just gonna hold it so I could use it against him for the rest of his life. You demonic. It ain't no telling what kind of trash you got going on. That's the Epstein people. They create Epstein lists. It's Epstein lists all over America. We just don't know about it. That's what I'm saying. If I know you had sex with a 12-year-old child, I'm gonna make you pay for that immediately. Period. Point blank. Me at the age President Trump and Epstein was at that time, at this age, first of all, I don't have children. Ain't no 13, 15. You ain't under, to me, if you ain't under 25, I don't want you in my face. I could be ordering a cheeseburger. Give me my food and just get, you know what I'm saying? Polite trees or no polite trees and get on down. You a child. You ain't on my level mentally. You ain't got no motion. I'm saying as a man, this is how I'm saying. But I'm saying if I know you had did anything with 13, I ain't trying to hold nothing over your head. I'll try to sue you and get money off that. Real talk. Any girl who Asu, who, whatever, he better not have no money and be sleeping with no child. You'll be bankrupt messing with me. Go to jail and take his money. That's what I'm saying. So people made accusations against me. That's not true. They still tell the accusation. Imagine how President Trump, I know how he feel because y'all doing it to me. Y'all try to do it to him too. You gonna have something. He might have did something he shouldn't have done. Who knows? But I'm saying you just gonna keep on talking about it instead of doing something to him back when he did it. You know about it. 6 million pages on Jeffrey Epstein. So they probably know a lot more that they ain't saying. But you letting them do that with children so you could get information to hold on people. You ain't no better than they are, than the child molester. You worse than the child molester. And the whole time the children getting molested while they playing these games with each other. First of all, who want to mess with a child? Listen, like I'm saying, if like I said this before, if you 19 years old, I mean a girl, you have sexual relations with a girl after she done had her period. I don't care who you are, if you messing with someone before she had her period, really to me, it don't matter what age you are. I don't care if you 16 and she 12. That's a child. If the female, after she had her period, see certain wisdom. For these girls, look, all the girls in the neighborhood or in the area, they weren't all going towards Jeffrey Epstein. You think Ghislaine Maxwell and Jeffrey Epstein, they made offers or pitches at girls that they were rejected. You understand that, right? So it's a certain type of female that they probably recruit mainly. Not putting nothing on the victims or on the children. That's what I'm trying to say. You see what I'm saying? These girls, if they were going to be promiscuous, they need to be promiscuous with people their age, definitely. But I'm saying it's a certain type of female that Jeffrey going to snag, right, wrong, or indifferent. I'm not saying he was right for what he doing. I'm not saying none of that. You understand that? So I'm saying if you got a female that's 14 years old, they hot to try. Most 14-year-olds like this, they not looking for no 14-year-old. They want to ride in a Ferrari. They didn't understood the dudes they daddy age. They see they daddy friends. That's who got the Ferraris. It ain't no 14-year-old. It ain't no 19-year-old. It ain't no 25-year-old. They want to do a 14-year-old female. They hot to trot. They want to do everything other grown people do. Those probably the type of females he was preying on. What I'm saying behind all of this, a man 45 years old having sex with a 14-year-old is different than a 19-year-old having sex with a 14-year-old. Let's be real. It's a big difference. A 25-year-old having sex with a 14-year-old is different than a 50-year-old having sex. Let's be real, man. For all of y'all who are over 25 or y'all over 35, y'all in y'all 40s, you know what I'm talking about. It's a difference. Ain't neither one of them right. But I'm saying somebody doing something and they 25 or they 21 or they 18 or they 17, they got to pay for it, but it's different. If you doing it and you 50, we need to get you out the way. You know what I'm saying? If you 19 and you mess with a 15-year-old, you could be rehabilitated from that. You 19. Come on, man. That's a child. In my mind, a 19-year-old really isn't a child, I guess, legally, but to me, it's a child. Go talk to a 19-year-old. At 45, I don't see much difference between a 19-year-old and a 15-year-old. Look, at 45, so you say it's illegal for me to sleep with a 15-year-old, but it's legal for me to sleep with a 19-year-old. So at 45, I go sleep with a 19-year-old. Y'all not going to have no problem with it. You see how foolish that sounds? If I'm 45, so that's what I'm saying. To me, like at my age, a 19-year-old and a 15-year-old about the same thing. One might be legal, one might be illegal, but it's about the same thing at my age. That's what I'm saying. So you saying a man who having sex with what? When he old, that's one thing. But you talking about a 45, 50-year-old men who got nothing but even 21-year-olds. That's why President Trump, it look bad for them. You can't be running with no 21-year-olds if you're 50. Even Jeffrey had some 20-year-olds. He had college-age girls in there. You can't be running with college-age girls at 45. You can at 19. You can at 25. That's what I'm saying. You got to separate what a man do as a teenager in his 20s than what he do at 45 or 50. And me personally, I ain't never said I had sex with a child before in my life. I never said that before in my life. You ain't never heard me say that in my life. You can accuse me of whatever you want to. That's on you. Ain't nobody care what you accuse me of. You can accuse me of whatever you want to. That's on you. That's your thing. Ain't nobody care about what you accuse me of. It's irrelevant. Just like what you accuse President Trump of is irrelevant. You got to come with the facts. If you don't got the facts, it don't mean nothing. It's just an accusation. So the people who go grab onto the accusations and they try to ride or live off the accusations, then that's what you got, a bunch of accusations. And that's why you got President Trump for the 45th and 47th president of the United States. Because when you get the verdict from the majority of the people, y'all, you see what I'm saying? Y'all say hello to the Peekskill Police Department, man. This is my favorite police department in the world. See if the man want to do an interview. Let's ask him if he want to do an interview, y'all. This is my favorite police department in the world. I don't think he want to do an interview, though. He just kept riding. Ask my boy if he want to do an interview, bruh. You know what I'm saying? I'm going to give you an interview soon, bruh. I'm going to give your whole city an interview soon, boy. You hear that? But listen, though. Real talk, though, I don't be playing with you, bro. You ain't going to waste no taxpayer dollars around me. Whether this is my community. If this was my community, your police department will look totally different. If you let me stay in this city, once I pick a city and stay there for 10 years, boy, them police around me, they better be walking a fine line because I'll redirect and rechange your whole department on repeat, boy. You don't waste the police need to be the strongest part of your community. The police is the part of the government that the people interact with the most. Common sense ain't that common. I got to teach them everything, bro. I'm 45 years old. I'm around here teaching 70-year-olds. They sitting there with their mouth on the ground, profound at some of the things that I be telling them. And I'm looking at them like, this stuff that y'all know. This stuff that I don't know. I was taught by great men. You feel me? Not the average man. I was taught most of the stuff I know by great men. And this ain't just stuff that people be knowing. I got a lot of wisdom. And I listen a lot too. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, man, you trying to put that stuff on President Trump like that. You ain't got no kind of proof. All accusations. Let me get some of these comments so I'll be fair and I'll let y'all have a voice. So goes a 50-year-old man has a 19-year-old girlfriend. You don't consider him a lucky man? No. I consider him something. I don't know what listen, I could pull a 19-year-old quicker than I can any other female. Would you say you consider a 35, 36-year-old fat black dude having a 19-year-old pretty white? I ain't been this age. But you saying 19, that ain't hard to get a 19-year-old. That's why we saying that it ain't right. Bro, I go to any college I could have done it on this trip at Cornell. On this trip. You could sit there and tell a 19-year-old, you could convince her about you could tell her almost anything and make her put her mind in even if she don't want to do nothing with her, you could say the right words to make her, you could get her there. Me at this age, it's like you conning her. It's like a con job. If you 50 with a 19-year-old, no, I will not date no 19-year-old. The only time I would have relations with a 19, I can't know she's 19. I'm 50. Now, when I was 35, that was different. I'm just being real with you. You know what I'm saying? Not particularly if she's 19, you know, she legal though. But I'm saying I was striking at 35. I was striking 40-year-olds. I was striking 45 and 50-year-olds. And yeah, I would strike a 19 or a 25 or a 30-year-old. I'll strike anything legal at 35. But I'm 50. Or not 50, I'm sorry. I'm 45. 10 years later, once I crossed 40, when I became a man, I put away childish things. That, to me, that's childishness. I don't, bro, you see how I talk? What I look like sitting around with, not saying the girl could go to court. Like I said, she could go to a university. Cornell is a Ivy League school. So I'm thinking in my mind, these are smart 22-year-olds or 21-year-olds, but she's still 21. She ain't had the life experience. She ain't got the motion. I want a fee. You talking about a fee marrying? I want a girl with some motion. Marrying? I don't want to call no girls names because you're going to say, oh, yeah, he trying to holler at AOC now. She's married. You know what I'm saying? But I want a female with some motion. You feel me? That's just what I'm on. I feel like I got motion, bro. I won in the U.S. Court of Appeals, boy. I sue cities. You understand that? Like, man, I just wrote an $800,000 case. I'm getting paid. Yeah, I want a girl with some motion. I look like riding around with a 19-year-old in my car, bro. Come on. That's like lame. That's what rappers do. So if I'm in a club promoting DJs, or if I'm like hanging with rappers or doing raps in the club, yeah, that's what they do. It's cool for a 38, 40, 45-year-old rapper to be with a 19, 21-year-old, not no attorney. What attorney you see with a 50 with a, I guess maybe they do it if they go overseas. I ain't finna go overseas. I'll go overseas with my 29, 32-year-old girl, man, wife. I go overseas. Man, I want a female. She had to have done some kind of living, first of all. She got to be a woman, man. She got to be. You talking about marrying? You saying marrying. Bro, you'll be surprised. Like, I mean, just get you a petite woman. If that's what you attracted to, get a petite woman. I know son. I know a 42-year-old boy, she'll make you never like, if you like younger females, if you like college age females, I know a 42-year-old, you will never talk to a college girl. I ain't never seen a man went down through there and ain't fall in love. And she discard every dude come through. She didn't discard me. But I went to the friend list. It was some kind of discardment. She discarding everybody. She 42. She one of them women like in the Bible. Turn a man to a piece of bread, boy. For real. I'm telling you, every dude that went down through there. I don't care what age you was. And she a full-grown woman. That don't mean, look at J-Lo. Look at Selma Hayek. Are we being for real? Selena, you think how old what's Shakira is? Shakira could be 50, bro. I don't care how old she is. I'm dead for real serious. But see, we don't talk about like that. It's different. Jeffrey is sexual deviant. All he wants is children. Something wrong with the man. And he got Ghislaine Maxwell, you know, that's his little thing, but he really loved them children. You know what I'm saying? He probably lay up for real. He probably lay up with Ghislaine once every 6 months. You know, she probably forced him to. They get into arguments and she about to leave him because she probably in love with him. He passing Ghislaine to Bill Clinton and the men, President Trump, you know, he passing Ghislaine to them kind of people who, you know what I'm saying? And he want the children. If I had a Ghislaine Maxwell, that's all I would need. Ghislaine Maxwell, if you look at her, she wasn't that bad look. It's really, and she do everything he say. She loves dirty draws. That's all you need. You just a perverted sexual deviant. Need to be castrated. I'm saying it's bad enough to go out and sleep with 20. Like I'm telling you, I went through them stages. You know, the sexual wild oats had to sow them, running through girls and stuff. I've been through all that. You know what I'm saying? At the point where you my age, like they was, you get money, like they did, like I have. I'm saying I got different interests. You say I never been nowhere in my life. I guess like when the rich men, billionaires, they went to all the waterfalls and did all the things when they were children that I'm doing today. Well, I thank God I never did that. You feel me? I thank God I just started, because when I was a child, I wasn't chasing no waterfall. I'm just the opposite of them. They waited till they got money in their 40s to be after girls. Most dudes like me, we've been getting girls like since. I'm saying I was snagging a different girl every month, bro, when I was 20, 21 in the military, in the army. I had a different female every month, bro. Every month, every weekend. Gonna go to the club. Bro, I'd be in the middle of a club kissing girls that I didn't even know when I was 21. In North Carolina. Wait till I get money. When I get money, my roles flip from them. They waited till they got money before they started. You know what I'm saying? I went through some of that in my 30s, but bro, that's like water under the bridge for me, man. You know what I'm saying? Ameliorate legal, my mission, bro. I'm chasing greatness. I ain't gonna say, bro, I'm not gonna sit here and lie to you and say I ain't gonna bump no female eventually. I promise you she ain't gonna be no 19-year-old. I can assure you that. A 19-year-old not gonna get a conversation. I'm embarrassed. I could see how old she is. She must be, I still ain't gonna have, because when I find out how old she is, it's some girls who, they like 22, and you would think they're like 26 or 27. They face mature, they body mature. Most girls who 22, they look like they about 19. To me, a 17-year-old to about a 22, 23-year-old, they look about the same. They look like children. They look young. When that girl, sometimes you'll get fooled, and that 22-year-old, she'll hit her maturity, sexual maturity, before she 27, before she 25. But most of the times you gonna know. And to me, the ripest for the picking is about 26 or 27. That's when she hit her full womanhood, like almost like a woman in her prime, like for that. That's her prime at about 26, 27. That's the best experience you're going to have at 45 years old with a younger woman. It ain't nothing a 14-year-old could do for you. I promise you. Nothing. That's what I'm telling you, Shakira. You just got to understand the genetics of a woman. You know what I'm saying? I've been with some 40-year-olds who had a much better. I tell y'all about a female from Georgia all the time. She was in her 40s. I was like 35, 36. She was a white girl. She kind of thick too. But I'm telling you, the genetics. I'm talking about better than a 19-year. I'm telling you what I know. You just gotta find it. And that experience was better than a 19-year-old. She was in her 40s. I'm talking about I had a Jones for. A Jones for it, boy. A Jones for it. That's what I'm saying, bro. Like, I don't know, man. Y'all was talking about Epstein, President Trump. I've been through it. I experienced it. I don't listen. Five Scarf, Lisa Roy. Listen, baby. Let me say this. It ain't no disrespect to no victims of no sexual impropriety. None of that. It ain't no disrespect whatsoever to no female who was being terrorized by Jeffrey and all those rich billionaires around him. I hope that as the investigations continue, the justice will find the people that justice finds, but it won't be President Clinton and it won't be President Trump. I'm just telling you that. That's not even a prediction to me. That ain't even got to be a solid prediction. That's just analysis. In 2016, all of a sudden, a 13-year-old came out and said he raped her when she was 13. So I'm telling you, I filed documents and I know how the judges, I know how they look, I know how they read it. You're going to wait 25 years till this man finna run for president till you say he raped you. Whatever excuse you have is irrelevant. You waited 25 years till this man running for president, his campaign, saying he raped you, filing these lawsuits. Was he wrong for hanging with Jeffrey? Yes, he was. He'll tell you that off the record. He know he was wrong. That man's 79 years old, saying that he hope he go to heaven. So he know he got the conscience. Y'all see the TV Trump. I'm just intelligent. I know a Trump behind the TV. A more soft-hearted, like, I'm not trying to take, I'm just being real. Yeah, I'm biased, but I'm still being real. If I'm a judge the man, I'm a judge him on his policy. Renee Good got shot under your administration. Fix that crap. Don't do that crap. That's dead wrong. That's ugly. That's how I'm going to judge him. I'm not going to get on no... If he a pedophile, put him in jail. If he ain't in jail and you still going around calling him a pedophile, he going to be 48 too. He going to win the next presidency. You got a white shirt on? Let me come sell you this ketchup lollipop or this ketchup ice cream pop. This man, you saying he a pedophile, you ain't got no proof of it. And you lurking on that. Huh. But you got gas prices, you got 100,000 problems in America that relates to politics that the voters care about, and you talking about him being a pedophile that you can't prove, and the American people, you done went down this road. You said, oh, he Russia hoax. Huh. How that turned out for you? You did, bro. The Republicans tried it on Bill Clinton. So I'm not blaming y'all Democrats. That's just political games the American people don't care about. The American people are wondering this morning, why is our gas went up $1.15 in the last 30 days? That's what the American people care about. I guess it's just more salacious and fun to talk about protecting a pedophile. Because that's I ain't hating on y'all, man. You know what I'm saying? That's the angle, and that's President Trump's fault for hanging with the pedophile for all them years. That's my fault for hanging around with younger people. Because if you 19 if you 19 and you hanging around a 15-year-old dude to try to get some weed, well, guess what the 15-year-old's gonna do? The 15-year-olds, guess what kind of girls the 15-year-olds hanging around? You think the 15-year-olds hanging around 19-year-old girls? No. They're hanging around 14 and 15-year-olds. So if you hanging around 15-year-old dudes, then that's how you get against, just like what happened with President Trump and Jeffrey. Oh, hanging with the wrong crowd. Them dudes were too young. Even though I'm 19 too, still they were too young. You hanging with the wrong crowd, then you get accused. You might get accused of something. We saw you riding around the car with what's his name, little homegirl. What you doing riding with her? What's her name, little homegirl? He wasn't in the car, you. You feel me? That's the same thing with President Trump. We saw you at Big Jeffrey house. We saw your arm around Jeffrey. So every time President Trump do something right, you know what I'm saying? He gonna end this war. And if he end it right now, if he get that peace deal, he gonna look really well. Really well. All this bad stuff gonna go away because he actually did something to Iran. Something consequential to Iran. Got it over with in a pretty fast man. He gonna look better than he'll write the blueprint for how to fight those wars in the Middle East or a war against a tough opponent. You just go in there, take over the skies, create damage, and quit. Walk away. If you got to go back, go back. Don't stay there. Don't nation build. Don't No boots on the ground, none of that. Just use the air superiority. Just go over there, level, and dip. When they start build, go back, level, and dip. That's the blueprint. So you don't get caught in no quagmires. So I'm saying he talking peace with Iran. You know what I'm saying? His ops and his haters mad, and they want to start talking about, you want to accuse a man of being with a child. Look, some people, they so bad on politics, they act like they care about you and me, but they want gas to get up to $6 a gallon. You see what I'm saying? Some people, man, they want gas to get to $6 a gallon. They don't care about America like they claim to care about America, man. You see what I'm saying? They care about politics. They care about Republican or Democrats. Some people like this. A lot of people like this, bro. I'm trying to tell you. So they don't care if gas get up to $6 an hour. They want gas at $6, bro. I'm saying if I know you a Democrat and you want gas at $6 a gallon just to make President Trump look bad, I'm saying, shoot, he ain't gonna look bad to me. Cause look, anyway, him attacking Iran, bro, that probably was a good thing. It ain't no probably, it was a good thing. You know what I'm saying? We know America's safer because of it. We know Israel is safer because of it. How much safer, we don't know. But I'm saying him attacking Iran, man, come on, man. So if he could get out of that right now, like with the quickness, he actually gonna get a W in that situation. And the people don't like that. They say, oh man, he's starting to do the right thing. You know what I'm saying? He done fired Kristi Noem. He getting out of Iran. He's seeing the wisdom. He making the right choices. Some people don't like that. So, you know what I'm saying? That's when they, hey, look, he making the right choice in Iran right now. I don't care what you say. So the right choice is to stay there and fight. The right choice is to stay there and fight. Because if you say that, I know you don't know what you're talking about. So the right choice is to get on down. So he making the right choice. He getting on down. Some people don't like that. You're going to see how good of a choice is in a second when that stock market go to 52,000 points before the end of the summer. Yeah, I told you that. If y'all haven't liked the video, subscribe to the channel. Man, you want to donate to the channel, hit that button with the $ in it, man. Your donations are much appreciated, man. Y'all know it's about that time, man. 3 hours and 21 minutes. I ain't gonna stream tomorrow. I'm gonna stream on Thursday. You know what I'm saying? And I'm streaming on Saturday. So, you know what I'm saying? If you guys want to get the 4 hours, man, y'all hit that button with the $ in it. Bro, I'm up here in the Hudson Valley, man. Man, listen, whoever down there in the stream, bro, like you trying to, like I'm saying, just say what's your name is, man. Say hello to Big Ghost Rider. Cause obviously you want to say what's up to your boy. You feel me? If you want to say what's up to your boy, say what's up to your boy, man. I say what's up to y'all. But, man, like I said, man, I'm in the Hudson Valley. Somebody said something about Harlem, so, you know, we going to swing through Harlem not too long. You know what I'm saying? But in the meantime, I'm doing them cases. I'm trying to get them cases done, popping. I'm up here in the Hudson Valley, bro, about 30 miles from Harlem. Man, y'all enjoy the view. I'll be back just a second. Like I said, man, if y'all want to donate to the channel, hit the button with the $. Your donations are much appreciated. Man, I'm saying, bro, if y'all follow the content, man, you know, over the last 90 days, man, I've been super critical of the Trump administration, man, and you know that's fact. So I'm saying, bro, like, I'm giving y'all advice from a nonpartisan perspective. And I'm saying if the advice is favorable for President Trump, or if my opinions are favorable for President Trump, it's like I don't know what to do with partisans, because I don't see how partisans could just be that real. You see what I'm saying? You a partisan, you caring about your party, you not caring about America. I'm saying we supposed to care about America, because if you want gas prices to get to $6 a gallon, how are you different saying President Trump don't care about the people, but just over some politics you want gas to get to $6 a gallon? Listen, guys, I'm an independent. Understand that, okay? So you gotta just ask me. Y'all gonna say it's beautiful here. I ain't admit it is gorgeous out here in this park. Real talk. You know what I'm saying? It's so pretty out here, but it's just a little bit more nippy than what we need to start streaming outdoors. You know what I'm saying? So listen, this is what I'm saying. You might say that, you know, like I'm just talking about this partisanness. I just got to understand, you guys need to understand that. Look, so if it's a Democrat in the White House, and it just so happens that I agree with a lot of economic policies of a Democrat, but if it was a Democrat in the White House in which under circumstances that, you know what I'm saying, maybe anybody, whatever race of person get killed, say that person got killed by, you know what I'm saying, a Homeland Security officer. Or say if it was President Obama, if he would have took some crackers and put President Trump's face on a cracker, him and Melania, You know what I'm saying? I would say that's distasteful. It don't matter. Like when President Trump put the Obama's face on some monkeys, I told y'all straight up, that's very distasteful. Straight up, no holds barred. I spoke on that immediately. See what I'm saying? That's what I'm trying to tell y'all. Like, if you go back and watch the content, I've been as fair and balanced as possible. But that's, in my opinion, because President Trump, the way he was governing was, like, I guess the ideology or whatever. I guess any Republican president at those pressure points, I'm going to bump heads with you. Some stuff President Trump did was different than the other Republicans. I mean, that I'm going to bump heads with you where I disagree with your policy. If President Trump is doing what somebody else is saying, and listen, y'all feel me. Say President Trump is doing what someone in the live stream was saying. So he's just he's just coming out and lying to us. He not having no kind of conversation with the Iranians whatsoever. And he just telling us he is to get gas prices lower while he playing militarily or while he wait for the Marines to get there. Say the Marines get there on Friday or something, he goes next week and he go ahead and attack Cargill and he got Marines on the ground. What y'all think the content gonna be when I come out and stream again? Even though I like President Trump. What y'all think the content gonna be? It's not gonna be positive. Because I don't agree with that. I think not one more bullet for many Americans. Not one more. And then you need to get on the phone and tell BB, like, whatever your last targets are, go ahead and hit them. The next 72 hours is wrap it up. And I'm saying you giving yourself 5 days, you shortchanging yourself. You need to give yourself to December. You need to get yourself to after the midterms for them to make a decision. 5 days. Boy, go ahead and get that stock market way back up. You need to recover from that month. That month was costly to the world and the American people and to America's standing on the world stage. You need to get your allies together. You need to rebuild your alliances. That's what I'm saying. Those are things that America needs to do right now. That's what's important to us right now. And because that's important, that's why I'm saying any further military action. He's saying whether y'all say he lying or not. Hold on a second. Let me look on YouTube, y'all. Like this stuff that I'll do as soon as I finish streaming. So let me look on YouTube and let me see if I could find any kind of information about President Trump. Okay, Iran strikes Israel's capital. So Iran has struck Tel Aviv. This is what I'm saying. The reason why this is happening, let me play this for y'all real quick. The reason why this is happening, because President Trump, he needs to go ahead. If he's trying to get a peace deal, why would you stop? Ceasefire.
Southern Israel.
Ceasefire.
At least one of them has reached central Tel Aviv. Search and rescue teams have been attending to casualties. 6 people have been reported injured. Media indicates there have also been strikes east of Tel Aviv and in southern Israel around Sheba. Meanwhile, we're just hearing that the Israeli military says it's completed a large wave strikes in Isfahan. Iranian media reporting that.
So they keep on shooting. As U.S. says, talks with Tehran remain fluid.
Israeli-U.S. strikes hit 2.
I want to hear that talks with Tehran. That's what I want to hear about. Tehran fired Gulf states. I'm telling y'all, man. This every time all this looking ugly. Israel got their war with Lebanon.
Especially that they've lost.
I didn't hear her say nothing about U.S. strikes, but U.S. talks with Iran. That's what I want to hear about. U.S. talks with Iran. How are them talks going? Trump says Iran wants deal to end war, but regime denies talks and strikes continue. Trump's talks with top person in Iran. I don't know, man. All of this stuff is from a day ago. 25 minutes. Trump appears to seek way out of Iran war. This is good news. We're going to play this.
CBS News senior White House and political correspondent Ed O'Keefe joins us now. Ed, good morning. So where might be a potential off-ramp for this?
Well, that's what the president's looking for, El. Good morning. He has said from the beginning that the war would last about 4 weeks. We're now in week 4, and with markets uneasy and the cost of gas climbing, President Trump appears to be trying to find a way out.
They want very much to make a deal. We'd like to make a deal too.
That's yesterday.
Promise of a peace deal with Iran.
Major points of agreement. I would say almost all points of agreement.
President Trump insisted the U.S. is talking to what he called a, quote, top person.
We're dealing with a man who I believe is the most respected and the leader.
A senior Iranian foreign ministry official says Iran is reviewing points sent by the U.S. through a mediator, but no formal talks are underway. The president says the U.S. had in-depth, detailed, and constructive conversations with Iran.
Yeah, look, I know we've been streaming for a while, and it all depends on what you draw out of that. You know what I'm saying? Some people have said they don't believe that President Trump is really talking with Iran. You ask Ghost, I'm saying I don't know. I believe he's talking to somebody, some kind of dialogue, but the depths of the talks and whether they'll be successful or not, I depend large in part to me you need a ceasefire. President Trump, the same way y'all negotiate the end of that war with Russia and Ukraine, you need to do the same thing with Iran. I mean, them and Israel, they still trading licks and everything the war's still going on. And President Trump talking about a peace deal. I'm saying, how you gonna get peace while y'all still punching each other in the mouth? It don't matter if America ain't doing it, Israel's still doing it. What I think needs to happen, I think he need to get a ceasefire, man. He need to tell BB, bro, you go and hit your targets. And if I'm looking for a way out a war, I know he can't just look weak and have America embarrassed, because ain't nobody else gonna want to listen to him. But I'm saying, in my opinion, I would just extend the deadline. Who cares what anybody think? I'm telling you, if you extending the deadline, if you talk to the Europeans, that's what their advice would be, to extend that deadline past 5 days. Because I heard them to the Europeans say that they think diplomacy is the best route forward. So if you extend that deadline past 5 days and you talk to the Europeans gonna say that's the right thing to do. Hey, this Big Pete EXF, can I speak to Prime Minister Starmer? Oh yes, this is him speaking. Oh yeah, well, Ghostwriter said, how do the British feel about if the Americans decide to extend the peace talks at least to? I'm saying, what you think they gonna say? The Europeans gonna be for that. The Gulf states definitely gonna be for that. The Chinese, they might not be for it, but on the surface, they'll say they're for it. Russia definitely wouldn't say they're for it, because Russia is the beneficiary of the Strait of Hormuz being closed. Russia's one of the main beneficiaries in Asia. You know what I'm saying? I imagine the nations on this side of the earth, they might be getting some of that Venezuelan oil from America. If President Trump is smart, that's what I'd be doing. You said you got 100 million barrels of Venezuelan oil. You probably already sold that, huh? I mean, it's just, strategy, man. It's about strategy. It's about outthinking your opponent. My opponent can't bait or sucker me into doing something. And that's what's happening. America keeps getting baited and suckered. President Trump names, General Kane, President Trump, he has to go to General Kane. What can we do about this situation with Iran? We need to stop them from being able to power outside their borders. So you got a whole strategy, everything mapped up, planned up, ready to go. So you go to start the conflict, and in the middle of starting the conflict, you achieve the military objectives. It's like the verbiage was confusing. That's why President Trump says militarily we won. Because you got to stay focused on the objectives. Well, his political objectives might have been regime change, but your political objectives don't really matter. They do matter, but the main point was the military objectives, and that military objectives was to stop them from power outside of their borders. Once you achieve that, then it's time to go. You got to get on down. Once that's been achieved, that's the whole goal for the fight. You got to get down. Everything else after that, in this situation, even in Iraq, they should have got down and kept hunting terrorists. It's cheaper to do it like that too. You're not spending that money daily on fighting this war. You see what I'm saying? You taking back the risk of American lives. I'm saying you got to think, you got to give those bombs a chance to work. If y'all keep ghost talking, I'm telling you, I'm going to tell him, I'm going to say the stuff that you could go say to him, he going to get it. Give them bombs a chance to work. You just keep bombing and keep bombing. Back up for a second and let them see what's going on and go talk to them. You done killed one of their leaders. You done killed two of their leaders. Two waves of their leaders. And you on the third wave of their leaders. So you find someone you want to. I'm saying look, from the strategy that President Trump and them are playing out, the strategy they're playing out a strategy like they're finna be bogged down in a conflict for a minute. That's what kind of strategy you playing out. You finna be bogged down in a conflict for a minute. If you're not finna be bogged down in no conflict and you finna be getting out, or you finna get out of there, what I'm saying is, well, the Marines coming and $200 billion and all this, I don't know who doing that. That's the Warhorse. Nah, President Trump, we ain't doing none of that. Yeah, you want gas, $7 a gallon. I'm saying, listen, if you're going to do that, you want to keep fighting Iran, at least thing you could do is give us a stimulus for gas. I'm going to make a live stream about that. If you want to keep fighting Iran, the least you could do is give us a stimulus for gas. That's the least you could do, in my opinion. You can't do that? That's the least you could do. Because I'm saying you got to know the effect that it's having on the American people. You have to know that. You have to be aware of that. You know what I'm saying? That being said, man, y'all, we've been streaming for about 3 hours and 45 minutes. I thought, you know what I'm saying, I'll take it up a little bit longer. You know what I'm saying? Because I ain't going to stream again until Thursday, and I'll probably stream on Friday or Saturday. Probably Saturday, so we're going to stream 3 times this week. I think when we stream on Saturday, we'll be on episode number 75, if I'm not mistaken. You know what I'm saying? And if we on episode number 75 on Saturday, then we're going to try to stream outside, weather permitting. You know what I'm saying? But guys, like I come, man, I just deliver the content, man, I try to do it from a pure heart, like nonpartisan. You know what I'm saying? I talked a lot of politics, talked about my business, various topics. But I would like to say, to end the live stream, that I am a born-again certified Christian, bro. You see what I'm saying? I believe Jesus suffered, he bled, he died on the cross for our sins. I believe that the blood that Jesus shed on the cross is the atonement. It's the payment. His blood washes away our sins. It's like Jesus took my place. If there's things you could say about my past that I did wrong, you know what I'm saying? Maybe there are things that I did. So where in your mind, even though I'm still not doing what you said I did in my past, you still equate my past to me like I'm still. But whatever you got going on, what I'm trying to say in your mind, even if the stuff that you think that I did wrong in my past, I'm saying if I ask God to forgive me for it, which I did in August of 2018, I asked him to save my soul from hell, to wash away my sin, tell him I accepted his payment, his death on the cross. He took his sacrifice will forgive me of my sins. That's what salvation is. So I'm saying if you can hold something on me that I did when I was 20 years old or 19 years old, I'm saying God forgave. I asked for forgiveness and he forgave me for that. I repented of my sins. What repentance means is that I don't do that no more. I don't live like that no more. I accepted the blood of Jesus as the payment and the sacrifice of my sins, and that's facts. Bruh, this is no lie. This is on everything I love. Bruh, whenever I was in my 30s, you know what I'm saying, going through what I call my whole phase in my 30s, during that period, bruh, listen, since I become, I had sex with more girls in one day, man. Then since I accepted Christ, and I'm not a married person, I'm single. You talking about? I ain't talking about no 2-3 girls either, bro. Like when I was out there in the streets, bro, I was just wild and just a sinner that needed a savior. You see what I'm saying? Like but I'm saying since I got saved, not no more. I don't live like that no more. Haven't and won't. Don't have the desire to. Have tens of thousands of dollars. I ain't thinking about no girls, man. I'm trying to build my business. Real talk. That's on everything. I'm saying like, whenever you know what I'm saying, I was younger, I used to sell drugs, been to jail, got in all kind of trouble. I was buck wild, bro. I'm not the same person at all no more. I'm not a perfect Christian. I still make mistakes. But all that stuff they holding on me from my past, bro, it's my past. It's gone. God forgave me of it. He could forgive you too. If you ask him, if you're willing to seek forgiveness, God will forgive you too. And that's a fact. And that being said, y'all, that's my time, man. I love y'all. I appreciate y'all, man. I just tell y'all, man, just to always just don't forget, man, that you got a creator. Your creator loves you and he wants a relationship with you. You know what I'm saying? And hopefully, you know what I'm saying, you will want a relationship with him, just like you would your parents or something like that. You know what I'm saying? Every day I wake up, regardless of what I'll go through, man, I say, this is the day the Lord has made. I will rejoice and be glad in it. Y'all, that's my time, man. Like I said, man, I love y'all. I'll see y'all on Thursday, Lord's willing, 7 a.m. Eastern time. It's Big Ghost Rider, man. I'm out.